All right.
Good
Welcome,
morning.
and good morning. Yes, today wasn't,
Happy Monday, baby.
happy Monday indeed. Hello, my doodle.
Yes.
Um,
Hello.
I see in the chat people are wondering, is this
Yes.
our typical error situation? Are we having problems this morning with our setup? No, not this morning. This
That's
morning,
a win, baby.
it is a win. This morning, I'm coming in hot because it is
You're
crazy
always hot,
pouring.
baby.
Oh, this is a different look at the background. Good call,
Mm,
Jacob. Good call.
okay.
What I
Okay.
just gave
That's
you a
for tomorrow.
tease of what's coming tomorrow because this is the show we're on today.
There we
So,
go.
uh,
Thank you, guys.
you know, something had to happen. So there you go, Jacob. You got it. You're right. Some random shit happened. No. It's pouring. Like it's crazy, like
Yeah.
torrential downpours out there. So it took me a lot longer to get to the office than it normally does. So I just came in hot. All right.
Better
Came
safe,
in
right?
hot. Absolutely. But
Red
guys,
safe.
thank you so
Welcome.
more for rocking with us. Web Dave was good. Six Slayer was good. Jacob was good. JD was good. Tone
Let's
Tone,
go.
welcome everybody. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Isaac Hayes, what is good, man? Yeah, so it was just a hectic morning trying to get here safely. But yeah, outside of that, no, we're good. Everything else is
Gucci
rocking.
Gooch.
Gucci
Ready to
Gooch, how
rock.
you doing, my love?
I'm doing
Good
great.
morning. Yeah,
Yes. Beautiful morning. It's always beautiful. And I had the most amazing time last night. We were rocking with Web Dave,
we were.
Red Tree, Fuzzy, Lady
Yes,
Foxfire. Yes, it was so much
absolutely.
fun. And my love
Six
C-Money.
Slayer.
We were just
Told you I'll be back
chilling.
like the Terminator. You were.
Let's
You were back,
go.
Six
Thank you
Slayer.
for being
Appreciate it, my
here.
man. Appreciate it, my man. But yes, we did have an awesome time last night. This weekend is wild.
Yeah.
We had some pretty dope shows that we were on, from our shows to Web Day. So it was really dope. So
Yes.
guys, thank you all again for being here. We're gonna get started. You guys are tuning in to our very latest episode of Morning Quest with Doodle and CMoney. Um, just the typical, oh, I don't think I did it. See, it's always something. I didn't put the thing up there. Probably not. Nope, I didn't. Okay. Well,
What you do,
if
see?
you guys, the little thing that we always put up there on the side, um, you know what I'm talking about, the
Sure.
Patreon info. I don't think I did it
Oh,
today.
yes, the link.
No. So I'm gonna do that real quick because we always gotta have it up there. Just put that in real fast. Sorry, guys.
I
Told you I
love
came
the
in
rain
hot.
though, even though it's like freaking crazy and obviously it's not good to drive in the rain. Like, just chilling and
Not great
watching
to
the
drive
rain
in the
is,
rain.
like,
Not at all.
the best feeling.
Yeah,
Not for
it's
you?
wild
How
because
you
these
think?
trucks drive like there's no tomorrow. Like they drive like they're
That's what's crazy,
like they can
such big
stop on a
trucks,
dime.
just wild out there. You would think they'd be more
Really is.
careful.
Absolutely. 1 second, real
Miss
quickly.
Yana Stark says, "I feel like I am living in Seattle."
Oh, I can tell you right now, I don't know how people live in Seattle because like if this was the daily, mm-mm, I couldn't do it.
It's not good to be out in the streets like that. That I get that, but it's nice to watch.
Yeah, it is. It is nice to look at. If you're at the safety of your home and you can just kind of relax and not go crazy, then that'll be dope. Everything else,
They are vampires and
they're vampires in Seattle. All right. Now I can say what I want to say. So again, thank you guys. This is an episode of Morning Quest, Doodle CMoney. We have a lot to talk about because I don't know if you guys caught our Saturday show. We had a crazy long show. There's a lot of overflow on things we just touched on
so
there. So we're gonna
much.
There was so much. There
So
was so much.
crazy. We just
So
hit the freaking topic of the show. I
we
was a
must
little dumbfounded.
what we actually got to cover in earnest.
Yeah,
Uh, so we're gonna go deeper into those topics now. But again, just a little housekeeping before we get started. Remember, YouTube hates us. They refuse to let us monetize. So
not
if you
nice.
have a desire to ever throw us a little support our way and support the channel, please do so by joining our Patreon. The link is pinned in the comments. And you could be joining these fine people who have, just like our boy Jacob Novik, Mr. Joanna Dark, and Dragonheart Yobi. We appreciate you guys very,
Thank you,
very much.
guys.
So thank you. Also, reminder tomorrow is guest day. Okay. Her, him, and a guest. We have none
Yes,
other than Colt Eastwood joining us on our show. We are honored.
let's
We're very
go.
excited for that. And then remember, we have our show on Friday, On Point Anime and Beyond. That's normally at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, which this past Friday was wild.
Yeah,
Wild. That was a wild time. So if you didn't catch it, you should definitely go back and watch that because that was crazy. But this week is going to be a little different. We're going to go ahead and start it at 6 p.m. Eastern time instead of our normal 9 p.m. Eastern. And the reason is we just had our boy Mav from Fun Speculation on our show, on our interview show, her, him, and a guest last Tuesday. And he was awesome. If you didn't watch that, please do because it was so
I'll
good.
check it out. It
Um,
was cool.
but he had invited us to come to his show. And that's just the way the time works. And he was our guest, and we have to kind of reciprocate, right? So we're gonna go ahead and be on his show on Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. So we just kind of had to create a little distance in time. So that's gonna be that. And then our Saturday show, On Point the Gaming Newscast, this week will not be on Saturday. It will instead be on Sunday because our twin babies, our youngest twins, their birthday is Saturday.
It's our
So we're going to be
birthday.
rocking with our babies, and then we'll hit this up on Sunday. All right. So JD says, we know how Friday shows go for hours. Oh, yeah, it's a good time.
It's crazy.
Jacob says,
It takes
congrats
a
again.
while.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Oh, Joanne Dark says the question is, will you make it to PM in the PM LOL on Friday? Listen, we're gonna cut the show short. We won't
We're
have
gonna
it
do
be
our best.
so long.
All right?
We'll
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 be
do
good.
what's
We'll be
right.
good.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely, absolutely. All right, and then we have Jacob Novak in the chat. He says, I have an idea. When the ex devs from the Saints Row team are hired by Xbox Bethesda, who offered help, make a new studio out of all the devs which focus on Xbox IP Crackdown and make a 4. Listen, I am one of those people who actually really enjoyed part 3.
Yeah, you did.
Crackdown 3 was dope. I had a great time. I also didn't expect more from it than I expected from it. I just wanted to play more Crackdown.
Yeah.
Um, I would have expected more had the original plans been kept. What's happening? What's happening in the chat out in these streets? Oh, six layer twins. Oh man, my condolences to your mental states when they're old enough to get on each other's nerves. Bro, we
We
have
have 6.
we have 6. So our son will be 17, our daughter will be 15, and then we have 6-year-old twin girls, and then we have soon to be 4-year-old twin boy girls. So we
Yeah.
deep. We deep. Shintaro, good morning, my man. Welcome,
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 love. Welcome.
welcome. Um, but yeah, Crackdown 3 was dope. I would look forward to Crackdown 4. If Microsoft wasn't bullied into changing their plans, they would have made an amazing Crackdown 3 that would have been a stunning, cloud supported game that would have had tons of real life looking destruction. It would have been epic.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
I agree.
we didn't get it. Uh,
Microsoft out
oh,
there
where is it?
always
Oh wow,
listening.
6. Oh wow, 6. Nice, but twin girls. Oh Jesus! Listen, it's funny. The girls are the easy ones, man,
Yeah.
compared to our
Our
boys. Our
boys?
oldest one, he
Yes.
was a terrorist back when he was young, and now the younger one is a little bit of a terrorist. This They go in. They go in for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So we put it on the thumbnail because it is the first topic that we're gonna just cover a little more about. You know, we did touch on it on Saturday on our show, but they approved it preliminarily, right? So they gave their preliminary approval for the Activision Blizzard Xbox merger. So the CMA has come out and they've seen the light. They released a statement, but this is something that they said in their statement. The sale of Activision's cloud gaming rights to Ubisoft substantially addresses previous concerns and opens the door to the deal being cleared. Okay. So CMA, they know that this is what's going to happen now. They know they don't have any way to block it that can, you know, be real any type of way. They
Yeah,
tried last
anything
time.
substantial.
Yeah, exactly. They tried last time with the console, you know, being too dominant and Sony failing and all this other crap. They washed that away. They hung their hat on the cloud. That's what's blocked it last time. Obviously, Microsoft had a discussion with the CMA. They already knew that if they did this, the solution would work. That's why they went and joined with the CMA to stop the other one and to have this new deal go through because it would be faster. And that's what they did. And CMA, being the tiny speck that they are, went ahead and tried to just prolong this as long as possible so that
Yeah,
they
'cause
can
they got
still
big dog,
say they still said they did it, right? They held this off as long as possible.
which
They
they
made
did,
Microsoft sweat.
they made a movement with it,
They did. I
you
mean,
know,
they did
Phil
prolong
was
it.
gracious enough to continue to go at it, you know? So
Absolutely.
that was good, but Jacob, you can breathe now, it's getting a little closer, I know you've been so stressed about this. It's getting there, we're getting there. It has to
Absolutely.
be also crazy frustrating because, like you mentioned, you know, we saw how we had, like, the more powerful, better system, and it still can't, like, take the win. That has
Yeah.
to be insane, and we saw how, like, humble, like, Phil was. We know this about him. He seems to be such a nice guy, very genuine, and even that moment, he was kind of talking to his team, and it's like, "Okay, let's take this in and let's keep going," right? He wasn't trying to, like, gloat. Like, I'm mad petty. I would've been out there in the streets running around in a freaking robe like, "I run the world!" You know what I mean? That would've been crazy. I would've called up my team into my office, holler at 50 Cent. I would've called Jim Ryan, had them in the background. "We're gonna party like it's our birthday," they would've been singing out there.
Yep.
And then I would've been like, "You know who this be? Got you, bitch, quick." But obviously, I'm not the
Crazy.
one running Microsoft, Xbox, and all that shit. We know why, 'cause I will run into the ground with my petty shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, Six Layer makes a good point because you know, this entire time I knew it was gonna go down. But you know, he says this past month was odd because it got quiet on the ABK deal
Yeah,
front. And because you know anything can happen at any time with these sus agencies. Yeah, like I feel you. Like if I think if Microsoft didn't do what they did, I would have been more like, what the hell's going on? I just looked at this entire time as like, look at the CMA being clowns. And Joanna Dark, someone should give the CMA their clown nose and costume at the end of this deal.
heck yeah,
Facts.
right for Halloween, baby. Let's go. Get out
Absolutely.
there.
Jacob says this is good. No, I actually think CMA ain't cool with it, but it feels kind of forced. It is. That's the point, right? They don't want this deal to go through. They just know that there's
Yeah,
no
I
choice.
think they've made that.
They know
They
there's
made
just
that
nothing
clear.
that they can do about it.
Yeah,
I think that they know that Microsoft would close over them if they went ahead and took this stance without actually having a kind of a middle ground where they can say, listen, give us something so we can approve the deal for you. Right.
yeah,
And so Microsoft did that because I tell you right now, there's no world that we live in that Microsoft would have let this deal not go through in every other country in the world
Yeah,
that
no shot in
approved it
hell.
and lose their ground for mobile. Just mobile alone, just what they're gonna make on mobile will eclipse the loss that they'll have in the
Yep.
UK, sadly. And we have a lot of good friends who are in the UK, so that would really suck. So it's good that the CMA is actually doing the right thing, right?
Yes.
And taking the L, understanding that they're not happy with this, but they're getting a W, right? Because they're forced Microsoft to make substantial changes. And I would say, even
Agree.
though cloud is not huge in the UK, um, it's still promising and it still can be something much bigger. And they essentially have just given up the rights to the
Yeah.
essentially the biggest game they're going to own, which is Call of Duty. So they don't have the like 100% exclusive rights to it. So they can't just one day be like, you know what? Let's really blow cloud up and let's make Call of Duty exclusive to
That's so
Xbox and
crazy. Yo,
have that on the cloud, right?
the tantrum I would have thrown in there. I would have been out there like Jim Ryan, bro, acting crazy, acting wild. That's insane. They did get them
Yeah,
to bend. They kept pushing,
they did.
and
They
and
did.
listen, they they got their way a little bit.
They absolutely did. I mean, they got a big win. They made Microsoft kind of again buckle, right? They made them
Yeah,
do what they wanted, which was to essentially give up the rights to the cloud. And I mean, listen, Ubisoft having the rights, it's not, again, to be clear, Microsoft, all their games are going to go into the cloud. It's just that they can't stop other companies from also putting those games in the cloud. So as an
yeah.
Xbox fan, we're not losing anything, right? There's no loss on our end. But, you know, if Ubisoft cuts a deal, let's say with Sony to do it, they can do that, right? They could do it with whoever they want, Nintendo, any company out there, which is going to be, I mean, interesting. It's there's nothing to be like concerned about. More so, just like I wonder how that's going to shake out. Like, what is that going to look like?
Because
Who's going to start getting these licenses?
it's for a very long time. That deal was signed,
Yeah,
what,
it's like
15 years?
15 years.
It's a long freaking
15 years.
time. A lot can change.
Yeah,
That had to be very difficult for them to do.
absolutely.
Yeah,
But again, I think Ubisoft will be the right person because they've always had a good relationship with Ubisoft. Um, I always thought that Xbox might one day buy Ubisoft, but the fact that
yeah,
that they have this deal with them, it's just going to keep them closer. I feel like you'll be able to see Xbox get some more deals as far as like Game Pass is concerned and things like that from them, simply because Ubisoft is going to be making substantial amount of money from Microsoft because they're going to be using that license to bring in more cash, right? So you never
yeah.
know what can come from it. My ultimate hope, give us a Splinter Cell exclusive to Xbox. Bring it back to the good old days, baby, when Splinter Cell was an Xbox exclusive. Give us a high-end Splinter Cell game. It's
Listen,
time. It's
things
been
can go
long enough.
sideways real quick, but I do feel like for them to go ahead and sign this deal, I feel like conversations were had, you know?
Of course. Of
A
course.
nice little talk on the
Um,
side.
Oh, there's talk going down. Hmm, let's see. Joanna Dark says, I would have been like Suge Knight and hang Jim upside down from a roof like Vanilla Ice.
Yes,
Oh my god.
let's go.
Oh, Six Layer says this last thing was so the CMA could save face.
I
That's
agree.
why they made it about
Yeah,
cloud, the most nonsensical aspect of the whole deal. Dude, 100% agreed, Six Layer. They literally said that it was like what 5,000 people in in the UK use the cloud. It was like some
yeah.
stupidly small number for them to go and make this big stink. And all of these humongous territories and countries, they all approve this without any conditions. Meanwhile, the place with the least investment in cloud made the biggest stink about cloud. Makes no sense.
Listen, I think that
Makes
they
no
just
sense.
picked the wrong side, but they kinda played it like PlayStation fans, right? Loyal till the end, like, they would not stop.
Facts.
So, you know
I mean, I think they are just PlayStation fans. Like,
Yeah,
they're like, "Yo, we'll do whatever we can, Jim, but we
we
can't
got you.
stop it now. We
But
can't stop
listen,
it now."
once
But
that boat was sinking, like, you gotta let it go, but they did not. They were riding, y'all.
absolutely. Yeah, they are. I mean, again, they still got their W. They made a
Yes.
big impact here. So I would say at the end of the day, they're gonna be able to look back at this and be like, all right, we got something from it, right? We did what the other countries weren't willing to do. So even though I think it's a waste of life and it's stupid, still they did it, right?
They're like, "Jimmy, we
Um,
tried. That's all we
Jimmy, we
can do."
tried, man. We tried.
Yeah.
All right. So our girl Lulu Chang Meservy, she went ahead and she put out a tweet. So we'll read hers. And then we also have the letter from Bobby, our boy Bobby Kotick. Right. So Lulu says the CMA's preliminary approval is great news for Activision Blizzard's future with Microsoft. We're glad the CMA has responded positively to the solutions Microsoft has proposed, and together we'll continue to work toward completing the regulatory process. Our boy Bobby, he's not really our boy, right? But he put out a letter to everybody on the team. So let's see where he went. So he says, I want to share an important update on our planned merger with Microsoft. Today, the UK regulatory authority, the CMA, issued a preliminary approval of our merger with Microsoft based on the solutions Microsoft presented in connection with its new merger application. This approval is critical to completing our merger. The next step is for the CMA to gather third party feedback, after which the CMA will reach a final decision. As I said when we announced the deal, this transaction will help us accelerate our ambitions for the future of gaming and enable us to better serve our players. Microsoft recognizes the commitment to excellence and creative independence that has served us well for the last 30 years. I'm confident that their resources, technology, and tools will provide us even greater opportunities to create even better games. This is a significant milestone for the merger and a testament to our solutions oriented work with regulators. I remain optimistic as we continue the journey toward completion, and I'm very grateful to each of you for your dedication and focus throughout this process. As the regulators continue their process, I will keep you updated on our progress towards our expected closing. Um, so, again, just to kind of put into perspective the way their outlook is the same outlook they've had. They know that this deal is going to close. They know the deal is going to close, and there's nothing that's going to change that. So the question are these letters, right? So they're now going to go to third parties to see if anybody has a
Yes.
beef with this. So Doodle, do you think Sony is going to complain about it now? Do you think they're going
They
to
shouldn't.
write a letter to the CMA after they got their 10-year deal? Do you think they're still going to do it?
I don't think they should, but I have learned to just expect the craziest shit from Sony. Like, they've
Yep.
they've done things that I couldn't have imagined as, like, such a big company and, like, having such a high position business-wise. It's kind of, like, a little bonkers to me. So, I don't put
Agreed.
anything past them, dude. Like,
Yeah,
not
I feel that.
anymore. Before I did.
Yeah, I mean, I have to, like, obviously they could be wild, but I feel like at the end of the day, um, I just feel like it would be crazy for anybody. I think the only two people, I think it was Sony and Google were the only two people who wrote in last time bitching about it.
Yeah.
Google may still bitch, but I think Sony at this point, you see the writing on the wall. You already have the deal. You signed the deal. I
Yes, but
think
he
just goes
signed a
away with
deal
that.
that he didn't want, right? If he didn't want the first
Yes,
deal, which was sweeter, he can't possibly be happy. Like, this happened because that's just what needed to take place. They saw they couldn't change it, But now that they have that deal locked down, even though it's not what they wanted, they can still go ahead and be petty and continue to make things difficult, you know?
Agreed. 100%. Post up, he put out some tweets to kind of dive deeper in some things to kind of show what's going on. But one of the tidbits that he put out there, which I found interesting, because remember, Xbox already has deals with some other cloud infrastructures, right? So they have GeForce Now, what is it,
Yeah,
Ubiquitous? No, Boosteroid, yeah, Ubiquitous, Enware. Um, so they already have these deals with them, but even though they have those cloud deals, they can each independently go to Ubisoft and get a different deal or a better deal or a new deal. So
yeah,
even though this doesn't um, hurt the deal with Microsoft with all these people, so they're not like wondering what's going to happen. If they choose to, they can actually go and try to dig deeper with this and see if they can find a different or better deal. I
of
mean,
course.
I could tell you right now, we've already been seeing the benefit of this because GeForce Now, Nvidia, they're already starting to get the games that Microsoft promised them. And they got Starfield on GeForce Now, and it
That's pretty awesome.
runs gloriously. Oh my god, it's my favorite way to play it non-native on like a PC. Like outside of the 4090, yo, the GeForce Now application of it, it's so good.
That's
It
where it's
runs
at.
so well. It's fact. Oh, look, Joanna Dark says, "See money, I
Let's
was playing
go.
Starfield via GeForce Now." Yes, I told you. How good was it? It was good. I know it was good. It was so good. That was that was a big deal to get that, and it works so well. I'm definitely I'm definitely digging it. I saw Payday 3's in there. Like there it's just like it's just going. They're getting the third party games as well, which is pretty epic.
Yeah,
Pretty epic. Let me see what's going on in the chat because I feel like it went by. We're gonna be able to do something. All right. So Joanna Dark says the CMA knew the minute Xbox fatality the FTC, they had no choice. Yeah, 100%. The CMA knew that once the FTC got murdered, it was done.
yeah.
Microsoft wouldn't give up or do something that in the end they don't benefit from.
Yes.
Agreed. Agreed 100%. Jacob says FTC can't base their decision on the future, but the CMA can. So even if I disagree with the Ubisoft Plus thing in the beginning, I will straight out say the Skyrim's guards say, okay, I will look away this time. Yeah, I mean, you just kind of have to accept it. We have to take
Yeah,
the
and
deal the
let
way
it
it's
be.
going to come in. Absolutely.
And then whatever
Jordan
comes
Dark
from it,
says,
deal with it then.
absolutely. 100% agree. JD says, I think ABK was always for the streets, as ABK games were going to fund Xbox Game Studios and Bethesda games. Very possible. Xbox said is in the FCC case that cloud loses the money. So now Ubisoft can take that burden and other providers give those games in the cloud. Yeah,
That's a great point. Yes.
I think that's a huge point.
Mhm.
It is kinda getting rid of dead weight, right?
Yeah.
Like, we heard from the trial, like, the plans changed because cloud didn't grow as big as they expected it to grow. So, um, part of me believes that's why they're looking at using the cloud to help power the consoles in the future. Because it's like we got all this infrastructure
Yeah.
here, and a lot of people are not using it the way we intended. So let's force the usage now, right? So
Yes.
now that investment that they made all that time ago is actually going to be put to use because we already know it's there, right? Flight Simulator is powered by the cloud. So they're just going to be able to access everything they've already done as far as their investments are concerned. So I
That's a great
think
point, and
ultimately
that's a
that's
great
it.
way to do it, right? To not continue to lose money.
Absolutely. Um, do me a favor. Can you read some of the super chats? I mean, the super chats, the chat real quick. I'll be right back. I gotta take this call.
By the way, I have to do this real quick. Mrs. Joanna Dark, check this out. I love this. Animal Crossing, baby. So I can't highlight them, guys. So that's not good. But I want to go to Shin real quick because I did see that he finally tried Gears of War, which is so freaking cool. You're very welcome, Shin. We were talking about Gears of War and how beautiful it is, how it stands the test of time. Um, let's see, where was it? See, money, I downloaded all of the Gears of War games, bro. I can't wait to beat all the games. Damn, Shin, you got them all. Nice. I love that. Okay. And then where was it? Yeah, you have to Gears of War has this way, like, when you go into that game and you see, like, the buildings and the way that they made everything so intricate, so detailed, it's definitely one of, like, my favorite games to just, like, visually go back and see. And it's funny because everything, and I've said it before, is so difficult when you have, like, the solid color. There's a lot of grays in there, and they find a way to, like, still create a dimension, like, well enough that you can go ahead and kind of see everything, you know? All the details. But those buildings, dude, are insane. Um, Last time that money had taken off, I went ahead and I read through the chat, and by the time he came back, he went back into it. So, let's go Doodle. Show that Nintendo swag. That's right, Mr. Joanna Dark. Baby, I'm out here.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
Ah, yeah, I wish I had a coffee right now. That's a good
Baby
looking coffee.
Shintaro tried Gears of War. He downloaded
Oh,
all the Gears of War games. That's
nice.
freaking amazing.
That's fire. That's
Yeah.
fire. Yeah, that's dope. Sorry about that, guys. It was just some work. Um, but yeah, so as far as the the preliminary approvals concerned, let's give our kind of final like what's gonna happen from it, and then we'll move on to the next topic. So Doodle, are we
Yeah.
thinking two things? One, is this a lock? Is this gonna be approved? Is it there's zero chance it doesn't go through? Or are we still have to be having our worry pants on? And when do you think it's going to close if you do think it will? So we have basically next week is when it's kind of expected, but then we have the week after that until the due date of the 18th. So do you think we're going to get it last minute, the last week? Do you think we're going to get it earlier? Do you think we get a surprise this week? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, for Jacob, I wanna say that, yes, it's done, but I just feel like this is just gonna continue to get dragged out till the end. Um, I do think that they're gonna go ahead, and if they can't make things work, they're gonna go ahead and sign without, but like, again, it's just I put my heart into it. I was like, "Guys, there's nothing else they can do." They keep coming up with creative new ways, keep dragging, and then even when they went into this last, little scenario, every Monday we were sitting there like, it's coming today. It's happening today. We're gonna
Yep,
hear
yep.
about it today." And then it just continues, and, for me, I'm hopeful that, like, tomorrow we'll wake up and it's all over, but at the same time, I feel like this is gonna be a last minute situation. Too
So
much can happen.
you think yes, it's gonna close, but you think
I
it's
think
gonna
they're gonna
close
close
towards
without.
the
If they
closer
try
to
to
the 18th.
be sneaky or do anything silly, I don't think they're gonna lose that money. I don't think they're gonna lose that deal. It's
Yeah.
it's just not happening. Remember, if this doesn't close, Microsoft owes a lot of money to ABK.
Yeah, it'll be about
A nice
4,000,000,000.
money.
It'll be 4,000,000,000.
Yeah,
Uh,
and this all would
Jacob
have been a
says,
waste of
"Where did
time.
the 4 Jacob ABK thing come from, See Money and Doodle?" If you remember earlier, you were saying that you were I believe you said something about hoping it was done or it should be
Yeah.
done. So Doodles was just including you into her thought process there.
Yes,
See,
you've been
Jacob?
bringing this up.
Yeah,
You've
you're
been wanting this to be
special.
done. Do we think it's happening? So, listen, I just want you to have a peace of mind and have this just be done. Jim Ryan
JD
calling
said Jim Ryan was called.
Giovanni.
I did get that call,
Did
but
you
I
calm
let
him
him
down
know
though?
that. Yeah, yeah, well, I told him not to jump. I said just
Okay,
chill,
got it.
go
Good.
back,
That
relax.
was good.
It's not the end.
No,
You'll
it's
survive.
not over for PlayStation, you
Your games
guys.
and services are gonna hit it big. You're gonna get everything you ever wanted, Jimmy boy.
I have so
Just
much
leave us alone.
sympathy. I understand that this feels like he's just lost full control of everything. So, like, sometimes you just act a fool, and that sucks because it's all out there.
Yeah,
But damn it,
it is.
we're all
It
human.
is. Yeah, I mean, we already saw he got replaced as the face, right? They brought in a lady, got rid of him. The PlayStation fanboys are so traumatized by that because he was their ringleader that now on Twitter they keep posting these old ass interviews or old ass things from Jim, and bringing it up now, which is like, all right, fam, like, calm down, get over it.
Yeah,
JD says that he was playing Cyberpunk 2077 on the ROG Ally with GeForce Path tracing, and it ran like butter.
nice.
Yes. Yeah, that
Nice. Shin hit the like button. Let's join
oh,
Shin.
he
That's a
did?
very smart
Oh, that you
decision,
know what?
Shin.
That's a
Thank
that's a
you.
great idea, Shin. You
Yes,
guys should hit the like button if you haven't. Please do that because it helps circulate things and keeps us moving. We really
let's
appreciate that.
go.
Also, if you're catching us for the first time randomly here, hit the subscribe button. We have fun
Let's
times.
go.
We have fun
Yes.
times for sure. Um, all right. So I will say, in my mind,
What do you
this
think,
is
baby?
100% locked. I don't. There's not even a sliver of a chance that this doesn't go through in my mind. So I felt that way from the beginning, and I knew it would get sorted out, and it will be sorted out by the end. Um, Rumors are that it's going to be like next week that we get the decision. Um,
Okay.
I can see that because they just gave us that approval, and then they need some time to get the third parties to, come around and give their final say on things so that they can make the decision. So I would say I don't think it's going to be the last week. I don't think they're going to bring it down to the wire because I feel like at this point Microsoft is going to be like, bro, like
We're done.
cut the shit. Like we already did this. Like just stop. So I
King
think
Web,
next week
welcome. Thank you for
is a
being
good
here.
target. Hey, King Web, what is good? Appreciate it, my man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. He says, sup, y'all at work. Would you
Oh,
know I had to check in with y'all? Xbox, more order. Appreciate it, man. Thank
you.
you so much for coming to hang a little bit. I'm at work too. See the blurry office behind me? But yes. All right. So that is that's the approval. It's coming. We're excited. Next week, this should all be over and we can move forward and hopefully have Xbox go ahead and start making more purchases, baby. I'm a greedy gamer. I want them to own them all. Every listen, we were talking. I think we were talking about it a little bit on the show last night. Were we
Yes,
talking about it? Where WB no, it was Mav. Mav was talking about it late last night on his solo show that he did.
great
Um,
show, by the way.
but it was a great show. I really, really want Xbox to buy WB. Now, we saw in those leaked emails that they were thinking about buying WB, but the problem was the thing that kind of soured it a little bit was the fact that you don't get the IPs, right? But big braining it, I want Microsoft not to buy WB only. I want them to buy WB Discovery. I want them to buy
Oh,
everything so they
everything.
own every single IP. DC becomes essentially a Xbox franchise. How dope would that be if they just
That would
own
be pretty
DC?
dope.
That would be so fire.
That
DC
and
has my
I feel
favorite
like they
superheroes,
need
so
it. I feel like that's something that they
yeah.
need, you
That's the thing
know?
that they've missed, like that pop culture hit that's just for them, you know? I mean,
Listen,
we're
in my
getting Indiana
opinion,
Jones, but
DC's coming up with their movies. Like,
hell yeah.
I feel like their latest movies have been pretty good, in my opinion. So, I'm excited to see what James Gunn's gonna do in there. And, yeah, let's go get some really good badass games, DC
Hell
games
yeah.
on freaking Xbox. Let's go.
Absolutely. Eric, what's good, my man? He says, I bet
Welcome.
the next purchase Microsoft won't have the CMA as required. You know, I gotta tell you, I feel like this W, this is the hardest purchase that they could have made
Yeah,
because they're in the gaming industry and they're basically buying the biggest game in the world, right? So I think that was difficult. But if they went ahead and wanted to buy like WB Discovery, that's not
yes,
gonna be a problem because they don't have any skin in the, the
in that
TV
industry, yeah,
movie industry. That's not where they're big in. Yeah, they're gonna get developers, but let's be real, there's nothing about the developers that they would be getting that would be crazy. Mortal Kombat, it's a great game, but there's other fighting games, right? So it's not like they're
yeah.
buying the only fighting game in the world that makes money. And same thing with all their other studios. Rocksteady, man, brings a tear to my eye when I think about Rocksteady and that stupid ass Suicide Squad game that they're working on.
Yeah,
Why?
you really
I
wanted that
hope they're
Batman game, bro.
I just listen, I wanted the Suicide Squad in the Batman way, right? But they went all crazy trying to be this games as a service bullshit. And I've never seen so many characters jumping on a screen in my life.
That game was cracked out, babe. That was
Yo,
crazy.
it looked like Crackdown.
It
That's what you
it
just said that, but
did.
it looked like Crackdown 3. Okay. But in Crackdown 3, it makes sense.
It
You're a
makes sense because that's
superhero,
the
like
type
a
of
super
game,
agent.
yeah.
Yeah, you jump around high, you build up to that, right? So, like, that's the point. Once I can do it, I want to do it, right? So I'm jumping high, blowing shit up. Great. Suicide Squad, I don't want that. You know what's the saddest part of the Suicide Squad? The fact
What?
that that story looks so good.
Yes, it
Like, it
does.
looks dope. Like, the story parts look amazing. They look like they're taking their game to the next level. But then you switch out that story and you turn to a goddamn jelly bean bouncing nonstop. Like, what the
So
like, what
freaking
is that?
bouncy ball.
Yo, I
Yeah.
was so disappointed. So disappointed. It
Yeah,
was
they went
crazy.
in. It got a little
Yeah, look, JD
wild.
says sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, JD says King Shark was jumping like a Fortnite character. Facts.
And that's
Facts,
the
bro.
thing, I feel like that's where they wanna get to. They wanna bring in that Fortnite money, and
Yeah, but for
you
what?
have to
They're
do
not
it
gonna.
with what you do and make it seamless. That's the
Yep.
thing.
Yeah, man. This is a superhero or supervillain game. This is not Fortnite. Okay, it's
Yeah.
not. Fortnite is dope, but it's not Fortnite. Six Layer says, thank you. It didn't even seem like a Suicide Squad game with all that flying crap. Yes,
Yep.
it was so ass, bro. I was so mad, yo. When that game was first revealed, were we streaming at that point?
Yes. Yes. Actually, we did a live reaction to it, and you lost your shit.
Yeah,
You
that
were
shit was
not
trash,
happy
bro.
with it.
Oh my
Shin
god, I
was
was so
there.
mad.
He knows.
Oh yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
had
That
a
was not
freaking
cool.
meltdown. He was so upset.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fuck that game. That's JD says that's why I call the game Suicide Squad Kill the Fortnite League. Nice.
They're crazy.
That's hilarious. Oh my god. Hold on. Where am I looking here? Let's go down. Did I say? I thought I saw. Oh, here it is. Six Layer says like it was initially some other game, and WB forced DC on top of it.
Yes.
And not
I
that
like
it's
that.
not
That makes a
bad,
lot of sense.
but it's not Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Like that's what it is. It's not the Suicide Squad. It's not something that you look at and you're like, yo, this shit slaps. This shit is dope. right? Like it's just not there, man. Like it's
But
not,
that's the thing, I
right?
feel like they try to like, when you have something really good going on, you kind of as much as you wanna get creative, like, use that creativity to make a different type of game, but don't shock, like, your fans who are waiting and expecting a certain type of game with some other bullshit, you know? Like, you gotta stay
Right.
true to who you are and what you normally do because it may not work.
100%. 100%. King Webb says Doodle WB Discovery is only $28
That's
billion.
it, baby, that's it,
That's
pocket
it. I mean,
change.
they just dropped 69, right, on ABK. And I think, realistically speaking, with everything that they would be getting, obviously, if WB is not up for sale, which I feel like at this point they're always up for sale, it's just like whoever's willing to come
Yeah,
buy it. But if they pay between like 28 and like 35 billion or something like that, but they get, major studios, like top tier talent when they're not being bogged down by the
yes,
fear of not making enough money, so they have to turn everything into a gas game, right? Which is again we saw with Redfall, right? That's what happened. It was Bethesda before being acquired had that mandate with like, hey, we need to make money, so we need to make these gas games, right? And then they
yeah,
ultimately stripped it all out, but Redfall unfortunately didn't recover from what it was prior, right? So that's why that was an issue. This is what's happening with Suicide Squad, man. It's because they don't want to make this damn game this way. This is not. They haven't made a game this way. They've made
yeah,
dope as single player bangers with Batman, bro. Yo, one, two, three, all fire. Dark Knight, they got a little funky with the tank stuff. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't my favorite in that respect. But everything else, top notch, man. Like they can bring superheroes to life in a way that not many can.
yeah,
And honestly, I believe that if they were owned by Microsoft, they would properly ascend into like that stratosphere of top tier game devs, right? They were doing that on their own in the Batman world. But once they showed us this, that kind of honestly really deflated the idea of them real quick. Like, come on, man. Like, this is what you're gonna try to pull? This is what you're gonna give us? I ain't
yeah,
about
well,
that
that was
life.
the problem with a lot of the superhero games, you didn't feel when you were playing like a superhero, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta feel badass, you gotta feel like you have those powers, you gotta feel like you're gonna kick ass, and you didn't get that feeling sometimes, especially when, playing multiplayer and everybody's so tiny over there, and it's like,
Yep.
"Man, I wanna feel like I'm in charge," like I'm gonna do some bad shit.
Absolutely. You want
Yeah,
just your superhero world to go crazy, like do what you
yeah.
gotta do. If you're a bad guy or you're good slash bad, whatever. Let's make it dope, right? And the story is there. I just need everything in between to be dope. I don't want to be jumping nonstop, man. I ain't about that
Yeah,
life.
it was very
King-
much so like a circus, you know?
Yes, it was some clown
They
shit. That's exactly
yeah,
what it
it
was.
was.
King Web says, "See Money WBD has 98 million subs, and Microsoft can put shows and movies of Xbox IP." But that's exactly yes, 100%. Like that's exactly what I'm talking about. Where, like, remember, Xbox was first. They were first. They were gonna make their Microsoft movie and TV division. They had it going. It's just everything that happened in the beginning of the generation killed all their plans. So why not just say, okay, let's buy these people, just like Sony has Sony Pictures, right? PlayStation has Sony Pictures that they could lean on for IP and for that kind of skill set that's there. Buy WB Discovery. You get the movie studios. You get the
Yeah,
ability to have people who make great movies. You get James Gunn. You
right?
can make him make a game, bro. Like you get so much from it.
Give us his
And
vision
yes,
of a game, that'll be crazy.
yeah, man, that would be fire. You get to have a place to make all your movies, all your TV shows in-house, and you get to go do that with people who know what they're doing. You're not creating a new division to go handle your movies. It's well-known, people who know what's going on. They know how to make these movies. They make
Yeah,
bangers. You got the people who made the Batman and the people who made the Joker. Like these are
Oh my god, those
phenomenal,
movies were
phenomenal
freaking
films.
amazing.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for
They
the new
also have the
Batman.
people who made The Flash,
Yeah,
which was
baby.
amazing. Um, but yes, but that's what I'm saying, man. Like they'll have all the ability to have all this IP, tons of IP, not just those superheroes. They have so much more. Harry Potter. There's so much. We just had a banger Harry Potter game, like an
Mhm.
amazing Harry
Oh
Potter
my
game
god,
this year,
stunning.
which I freaking want to go back to at some point.
Yeah. Shin, you gotta
Um,
get that one.
yeah, that's worth having.
Yeah.
But like you'll have all of these people. Yo, Xbox would be so crazy, bro. Like Xbox already so crazy once they close on Activision. But if they do something like this and then still get some smaller entities, I think for sure we need Crystal Dynamics. Okay. We need them. They're making Perfect Dark with the initiative. So we need them. We need Idols Montreal that I believe are helping, if I'm not mistaken, I believe with the same game, or I think State of Decay, something. But Idols is also helping on the game. We need that Tomb Raider IP so we can have some dope ass Tomb Raider games that are owned here. Um, and then a Sobo. Come on, man. You're making Flight Simulator for us forever, and they have freaking A Plague's Tale. If you guys have not played A Plague's Tale Requiem or the first one, a play what's the oh man, A Plague's Tale Requiem, I forget what the first one is. But they're both bangers. If you haven't played them, go play them. Asobo is a humongous studio to get. Right? Like,
Yeah.
they would blow up if they had first party support.
Yeah.
If they had the
The
backing
funds.
of Microsoft, they would
Yeah.
be humongous. They're working on part 3. I feel honestly, when I play their games, I see the progression of like a CD project where the first game was very well made, but contained and smaller. The second game got much bigger, got more, funds behind it, got more production value behind it. Great story, right? But it was still kind of a little bit limited in scope. The third one could just they could just blow that up, man, and really push it further. That world is so
That's
interesting.
beautiful to see, though, that progression when you have a good company, you have a good studio, you have a good team, and, they'll get there even if Microsoft doesn't come through, you know? Maybe they're not up for sale, they
I
wanna
mean,
keep on their hustle.
well, I mean, you still need the funds for it, right? And that's the thing. So Focus, honestly, they should buy Focus. Focus actually has a lot of
Buy
great smaller
everything,
studios.
guys. This
That's
is
what
the
I'm
thing,
saying. Like
it's
people
gonna
are afraid
be
of
very
consolidation.
specific.
I
After
think we
this
need to get out of
ABK
that.
deal, they can't go back and grab something like that right now. So it's gonna be very specific what they can go or not go with, you know? Um,
Yeah.
there are a lot of options, but it's it's gonna be very well
Well, they
broken
have to
down.
lock down the ones that are already working with them because they don't want to have
Yeah,
a situation where they have a company working for them and then they get bought by somebody else. And it's like, well, no, we have them making our own stuff. That's why you need a Sobo, you need Crystal Dynamics, you need IDOS, you need Certain Affinity. These are the guys who work on Halo in the background all the time. Like you need to get these guys so that you don't get screwed because these
yeah.
support studios are like being the main studios for them. You know what I'm saying? So like you
That
gotta
was
own them.
crazy.
You gotta
When
own
I
them.
heard about Halo, like, they kind of bring in type of, like, contractor style to
Yes.
work
That was
on
the way they built Infinite, yeah, and I think the old games
yeah,
I think they're changing that going forward, though.
they
I think
should.
that got out, and it was a big problem. So, I'm thinking they're gonna be a big change with that. Jacob says, "If you missed it, I'll put every chat together." That he wants Xbox to buy the Party Animals devs. I think that's smart. Have, more almost like a fun, kid-friendly studio that's just ready to make fun shit. Um,
Yeah,
Lies of P devs. This game, Lies of P, was really well received, and they're a small studio, so these are the type of purchases you want to make, so you don't have to pay too much, because even though Liza P reviewed very well, I don't think it's gonna set the world on fire with sales. You know what I'm saying? It's still a new IP. It's kind of
yeah.
as far as is not an Elden Ring. It's not From Software, right? Like From Software can make these games and anything they touch is going to sell pretty good. Whereas these lesser, smaller companies, they don't really have that benefit to just put out whatever they want and it's going to, explode on the scene or whatever. So, um, I definitely think that that would be a smart get. Gearbox, I don't know, man. Gearbox, Borderlands has kind of run its course. I think. I don't know how
You think
excited
so?
I would be if I saw Borderlands 4. Yeah, well, we haven't messed with Borderlands 3, right? I
Yeah,
played it a
the
little
first one
bit.
was so freaking good. I feel like they
Yeah.
can get back to that place.
The first
And,
one
like,
was amazing.
obviously,
The
times have
second one was
evolved. They
good.
need to go ahead and make it better, but, with that foundation.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, that one might be a little rough. And then Ty the Tasmanian Tiger devs. I don't even know who that is. I have no idea, but I agree, Jacob. Those are some good gets there. JD says
Let's
Batman is still
go.
better than Spider-Man games. 100%. Batman, fun fact, is my favorite superhero. And I can tell you right now, yes, you're right. Nothing touches the atmosphere of what Rocksteady created with the Arkham games. Insane. Insane.
Listen,
Um,
we can't let Mad Men listen to this stream now.
yeah, no. Madman would be upset. He would be upset. Jacob feels like the silence behind why Gearbox ain't sold yet, even if Gearbox is for sale, Xbox is in talks to buy them after ABK. Well, this is the thing. We got we actually had a piece of news. I don't know if we I think we are gonna cover it later. But what's his name? The people Take Two, the people who
Yeah,
own Rockstar and NBA 2K and all those games, they have already refused the idea of purchasing Gearbox. So they are being shopped around, and I don't think they're high on people's list because they're like a weird place. They're a big company that probably costs a lot to run, but they
yeah,
don't make shit. Like they made like these weird
Sancho.
homeworld game that is so niche that nobody really cared about it. And then um, they make Borderlands and Tiny Tina, whatever, like Borderlands spin-offs and stuff, but they're really not that big anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like they're really not that huge. JD says, I haven't finished Hogwarts, may need to go back and start from the beginning. That's a huge game, man.
It
So if you
is.
didn't beat it, it might not depends on how long you've been playing. I played it for a while and I still got like a lot more to do. But I love that game. That game is
Oh my god,
really good.
find those freaking gorgeous dragon, owl-looking
Oh, yes.
things were freaking those are amazing.
Yes, when you finally get to fly on a not on
Yeah,
your broom, but on a dragon or whatever it is that those creatures, woo! That's so
yeah.
dope. All right, JD has his list. He wants them to buy Eidos, Crystal Dynamics, Gunfire Games. Those are the people who made Darksiders, right? Pretty sure. Legacy of Kain, Deus Ex, and the Darksider IP. Yeah, I guess that is. Yes, 100%. Um, Jacob says if they buy WB, they can make Hogwarts Legacy 2 as an exclusive. They should. They should. Um, the Tasmanian devs, Jacob says, is Chrome Studios, which is under EA, but the IP only if you could buy out from the devs, get the studios too. Hmm. I don't know. I don't think I've ever played that game. Jacob says Chrome made the 1 remaster and 2 remaster are releasing 4 remaster soon. That sounds like a lot. JD says he's 35 hours in the Hogsworth. Man, you can't restart that shit. That's just, what?
Mm-mm.
Just like 3 regular games you
The
could
moment
play.
has passed.
Yeah, man, just move forward, okay? Just
You can
just take
restart,
the
you can
L and catch
continue.
up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just continue it. Oh, Gunfire Games. They did make Darksiders, but they also make Remnant 1 and 2. Okay. Part 1 I played a little bit and I wasn't feeling it too much. But part 2 I did not play, but that one got a lot of good like reviews. So I'm hoping that at some point it just comes in a Game Pass later on once I'm done
yeah.
with Starfield and I get back to like my dabbling ways where I can just kind of jump into different games. Then that will
Will
work for
you
me.
though? Like, it's
After
crazy
Starfield,
because now you're gonna spend so much time with Starfield, and they're hitting you every quarter with a big game.
I know.
Oh,
This is gonna be wild. It's gonna
yeah.
really be like if we haven't already transitioned to a world where if your game's not a 8 or a 9 and above, then it's not really worth playing because there's so many games that are 8s and 9s and above. Um, I think more than ever going into this next year, that's gonna become an even bigger thing. Whereas there's gonna be tons of games that come out that I look at and be like, "Oh man, that game looks sick," right? But I know it's not like the pinnacle of what I could be playing at any given moment, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's gonna be why? Why do it? I don't know. Games are gonna be rough when Xbox really starts delivering a lot of big bangers, into Game Pass. I think I think Game Pass is gonna become like
a
is gonna
beast.
be hard for developers who are not in Game Pass
Mhm.
because there's gonna be so much dope shit in Game Pass. It's gonna be
That's the
rough.
thing, that's gonna be the struggle.
Absolutely. All right. So let's move forward. Tokyo Game Show popped
Yeah.
up this past week. And it wasn't like anything super crazy, right? Like it wasn't like, oh my god, this huge showcase, but they had some quality content that's coming. That's exciting to um, it's just exciting to know that it's coming into Game Pass and exciting to know that we're getting it,
I feel like
right?
this show had a purpose, right? We are looking for Xbox to go ahead and continue to grow, and this is a big part of it, to get into that Japanese market and have them
Absolutely.
join us, join Game Pass, and listen, that game Hotel, Barcelona looked really, really good. Personas,
It
are
did.
coming in, and Mad Men loves them. So there was good in there, and if you went in there with the mentality of knowing what this show was about and what it was for, then it was a great show for Xbox.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we got a lot of updates on the games. Like we already knew about Persona, things like that. I think the biggest ones that came out of the Tokyo Game Show was the fact that we're getting Octopath Traveler 2, which
Mhm.
I predicted what they would do before the show. It just makes sense. The relationship with Square is there, and they can't talk Final Fantasy stuff quite yet. So they went ahead and said, "Hey, listen, we're righting our wrongs. We didn't give you the damn it. What's the name of the game? I just said it. Why am I so confused? Um, Octopath Traveler. Damn, that was so weird. Just went away from me for a second. So they're gonna right the wrongs, give us Octopath Traveler 2, and now it'll be all square, right? We have the game's there, right? We got one, now we got two. It's not coming into Game Pass though, which I felt was like a really like you basically skipped us over, and you're not trying to make amends by giving it to us in Game Pass, right? Like I think that would have made the most
That
sense.
would have been the
Uh,
the the cherry. Yes.
yeah, absolutely. But I would say the biggest ones for sure, like the biggest pops, were the fact that we're getting
Taro said,
like a
"Damn it."
dragon, huh?
Chintaro said, "Damn it," after he heard that. That's not going into Game Pass.
All that is not going
He
to
got
Game
so
Pass.
hyped.
Yeah,
He's like, "Damn it, you crushed my dreams."
absolutely. I feel that for sure. So the big ones I would say is the Yakuza games. The fact that we're getting Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, November 9th, that's gonna come day and date right in the Game Pass. So that's money right there. Like that is a good get. The other one, the Yakuza Like a Dragon that came out that did so well was the turn-based one, but like I feel like Sega and Microsoft, like Sega and Xbox, are just closing
Yeah.
that relationship closer and closer until the day that we have a Xbox that's branded with the Sega logo in Japan and we own Sega, right? Like it's coming, man.
They
It's
said it.
coming.
They said they treat us best. Like,
Yeah, they did. They appreciate us the most. You go to
yeah,
where you're appreciated. You know what
that
I'm
was
saying?
big.
And we're also getting the Yakuza Like a Dragon Ishin. I'm saying Yakuza because they stopped saying Yakuza, so they changed it to just Like a Dragon. But that's the only way
Yeah.
I know what the game is. So,
Mhm.
Like a Dragon Ishin, which already released, is going to be coming into Game Pass this year. So we're getting two big ones. You know what I'm saying? So as far as that's concerned, I think that that's a huge win. And yo, Infinite Umbra, what is good, my
Let's
man?
go. Welcome.
Welcome,
Good morning.
welcome.
Happy
Good
Monday.
morning indeed. So yeah, so as far as like the Tokyo show, like the game show itself, that was like pretty much the most popping things that came from it.
Yeah.
But we did get some news because Phil was making the rounds doing interviews from being out there
Yeah,
in
from the show.
Japan. Yeah, so being that he was out there, he had some interviews. So um I'm gonna read some of the things that he was quoted for. They asked him, "Can we expect things like Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy Remake to be released on Xbox?" Obviously, we know that he's not going to say 100% this is happening because, again, all that stuff is still locked under the marketing rights from Sony. So you can't go around saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to get it soon." You can't say that, right? So once that naturally runs its course and Sony's deal is over, we're going to get the Final Fantasy games. It's just going to
Yeah.
happen. But this is what Phil had to say when he was asked that. He says, "I can't talk about the specifics of Square Enix at this point, but we were able to announce a few things at the showcase, including Octopath Traveler 2. I think it was important for me and the Xbox community that I was able to take the stage in Las Vegas with Square Enix CEO and Mr. Yoshi P to announce that we will further strengthen our support for Xbox." Again, that's him answering the question without answering the question, right?
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, I
It's
can't
crazy
speak for
because they
them."
feel like they can ask him anything. Like,
Well, I mean,
yes,
everybody's
let me
gonna
give you the
try
details.
and see that if he might just be like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give you this exclusive shit
Yeah,
right
right?
here. It's gonna be coming next week." Nah,
Let me get
he's
my paperwork out.
let me show you the contract. Look at it. It's
Right?
signed. Yeah, no, that's wild. No, but he's letting them know, like, well, I can't speak for them, but we did get Octopath Traveler 2, a game that we missed. And I think everybody saw that I went on stage, shook people's hands, had that awkward, long ass hug slash
Holding
handshake.
hands, as I call
They
it.
were
That
just
was not a
holding
handshake.
hands
They
for
were
a long
holding
amount of time.
hands.
Absolutely. So I think he just nodded. He's like, "You saw me on stage. You think I would go on
Yeah.
stage to get Octopath Traveler 2? No, fam." So it's coming. They again remember they announced we are getting Final Fantasy 14, right? Because PlayStation does not have an exclusive thing there. It's just that Square was exclusively making it there and the PC. So we are
Yeah.
gonna get that. Yobi, what is good, homie?
Yobi, welcome.
Welcome,
Let's
welcome.
go. That's that Monday
Um,
energy. Let's go, baby.
That's what we're talking about. Um, so yeah, I think it's without a doubt it's gonna happen. So we already got
Yeah.
one Final Fantasy. There's no doubt that the rest are coming. Especially since we know that Sony did not make them forever exclusives. So I think this time the limitations are actually gonna hold where if they say 2 years or they say 6 months or they say 1 year, that's what we're gonna be.
Yeah,
Um,
they're gonna come
and
through.
absolutely. Um, there was another bit of information that came out. Phil Spencer mentioned that the Japanese PC gaming market has doubled and that PC
Oh,
Game Pass subscribers in Asia have quadrupled in the past
holy crap.
3 years. Um,
That's really good,
so
dude. Because this is what they're
that
doing. They're building these relationships that they need to go ahead and build. It's important.
absolutely. Like this is the thing, there's a lot of people who hear that, especially like the naysayers, right? Or your ponies, right? Where they're going around and they're going to say, well, yeah, it doubled and quadrupled, but if you had 10 subscribers and now you have 20, well, you doubled. And if you had 10 Game Pass members and you quadrupled, well, you have 40 now, right? That's not a big number. But the point is that we obviously we don't know the scale, right? So when you say double, when you say quadrupled, you don't know what that means. Again, it could be from a much smaller number, but still the
It doesn't
idea is the
matter.
same. It's still more
Yes.
people who are saying, "I want in," right? And that's all they can ask for. They just want people who want into the Xbox ecosystem, who want into the PC ecosystem. Remember, PC Game Pass is Xbox. When I play my game on my PC, I don't sit there and think I'm playing the PC game. I'm playing an Xbox game. I'm playing this is
Yeah.
just the high end version of Xbox for me, right? Because I get to have the more powerful system, but I still get to be excited every time a new Xbox games drops. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Alice, welcome. Thank you for
Welcome,
stopping
baby.
by. Eric says when Xbox buys Sega, the next gen box will be the sex box. Oh my god.
Here we go. Here we go.
What's happening? Ever since Saturday, well, Friday was messy, but
Yeah.
Saturday was wild, and we just took it everywhere with us. We brought it to Web Dave's show last night. Eric Reed is bringing it back. Man, we're
Let's
bringing some type of
go.
energy. We're bringing some type of energy. Six Layer says, "Yeah, that's how I see my PC, like a high-end custom Xbox."
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. I agree. Honestly, my biggest desire for Xbox is to let me click a button on my PC and just instantly like turn it into like my Xbox starting screen,
Yeah.
but just have all my PC games there. That would be the dream. Like big picture mode on Steam, right? Let me have a big picture mode on the Xbox app that turns my damn screen into an Xbox. I would love that so hard. Um,
I'm getting blamed. See,
oh
I'm
my
getting
god.
blamed.
You are getting blamed.
Listen, things were
I just
taken out
saw.
of context, and then
They were
everybody
not
ran
taken
with
out of
it.
context. These are words that were facts. You said them.
That apply to multiple things.
Well, maybe. And Charles says the sex box. God damn it. JD says with every sex box you get an X bra. Oh my god.
Yeah, baby.
It's
Oh
already
my god,
happening.
I was laughing so hard just remembering that
Oh my god. Look, Alice,
yesterday.
she's
That's
like,
crazy.
no, no. I was just like, what?
Alice, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
we gotta keep it chill for Alice.
Six Layers says, particularly when I'm gaming, yeah, window needs its own big picture mode. BPM was the final
Yeah,
key to the puzzle. Absolutely, man. Like, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Just give it to us. Like, just make it so I could just click the button. And if I want my PC experience to look like a Xbox experience, give it to me. Not hard. Not hard at all.
I don't think so. If we
Yobi
have,
says, blame Doodle. It's her fault. Listen, it's true. These are facts. These are facts. But it's okay. I got your back. All right, Doodle. I got your back. I'm right there with you.
well, it doesn't sound like it. You're like, "These are facts."
Well, I mean, I'm saying that they were facts, but I've got your back, even though they're
Uh-huh,
facts. You know
uh-huh.
what I'm saying? Like I stand in front of you and I take the bullets, even though it was your fault. You know what I'm
What?
saying?
That makes no
All right.
damn sense, C-Money.
No, it makes sense. It makes
It does
sense to
not.
everybody. Everybody's saying it in the chat right now. Look, everybody's saying, wow, see money, you make so much sense. Don't read it though,
Don't
babe. Okay.
don't
I'll
look,
read it to
right?
you. I'll read it to
Thank
you.
you.
It makes
You're
sense.
so
That's what everybody
sweet,
says.
and you would never lie.
I just lied.
Not
I
to me.
apologize. No, no, no. I was just joking. I was just joking.
That's how I get
I didn't
'em.
say that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's not cool. You know me. All right. So Philly Phil, he has
Ooh,
more to
Phil.
say about different things. Phil was asked, will games available on Xbox Game Pass that cannot be played without joining Game Pass? What? Oh, okay. I guess this is translated. I guess they're saying, will there ever be a scenario where a game is in Game Pass and not available anywhere else? Right. So like a Game
Oh my
Pass
god.
exclusive.
That would be
That
dope.
I think that would undermine everything they're kind of building. You know, the whole
Yeah, for
point is
everybody to
choice.
play.
Yeah, absolutely. So Phil Spencer says, no, that's not it. What we want to offer is choice. Xbox isn't just about Xbox Game Pass. The real success of Xbox is that more people play Xbox, whether it's on Xbox consoles, on PC, in the cloud, or on other consoles. Other consoles?
That
What other consoles
Nintendo
are you
deal,
talking about?
baby.
What other consoles are you talking about? Oh, snap. We want to grow the community and grow the community that plays Xbox. I have no intention of doing anything that would hinder that. You know, that's the right answer.
Yeah.
That's 100% the right answer. It would just be stupid.
It's
It
tempting
would
to hear though, like exclusive. This is how crazy like Disney got with their Disney Plus app, and it was not a good
Yep,
look for them. But it has to be tempting to be like, okay, I put this exclusive in there to make people come in. But at that point, you're kind of like really forcing people to do
exactly.
something that
Exactly.
maybe they don't want to do,
Yep, like
and that
you
doesn't sit well.
experienced that firsthand with Dancing with the
Yeah.
Stars, right?
Yes, that
So
was so annoying.
Disney
I
took
was
Dancing
annoyed
with the
for the
Stars
people,
from
like, I
TV.
have Disney Plus.
Absolutely. So they have Disney Dancing with the Stars on TV, and then this
Mhm.
past season they went ahead, they took it from TV, and they put it exclusively in Disney
Yeah, that was
Plus,
crazy.
and it's like, guys, like you're sure you might get people who subscribe just for that month or 2 or however long the
Mhm.
show is, and then they're gonna bounce. Like,
Yeah.
why? Just offer it. People are still watching it. Like, let people come to you because you're offering great entertainment, not because you're taking something away and locking it behind the subscription, right?
Yeah,
That's
because
why
at that
Xbox
point, you're
can't
pissing
fail
people
with
off.
this. Absolutely. That's why they can't fail with this. G Maybe was good, my man.
"Welcome, good
Thanks for coming.
morning."
Thank you for coming. Um, but yeah, like they if Xbox were to do that, they would throw everything away. People would lose
Yeah.
their mind. So it would be
It
stupid.
goes against
That game,
everything they've sold
yeah,
us on.
absolutely. I agree 100%. I do want to say this. Jacob has Phil in the Power of a Power on Xbox documentary, 20-year anniversary. I want Xbox to exist for over 100 years. That's what Phil Spencer said. Fanboys are now somehow running with this idea that says Xbox will quit the gaming space in 2027.
Oh my god.
People are cracked out, bro. I don't
This
know
is why
what
they're
happy
spending all
juice
this
these
money.
people are drinking, but
That good shit,
they're drinking that good
apparently.
shit, like that
That
hard shit
goody
because
goody.
like they just bought Activision Blizzard for $69 billion, and you think 4 years from now they're out.
This
Get
is
the
all for fun.
It's wild, dude. It's
Now,
wild. It's wild.
and I don't like saying things like this because, like, obviously, like I've been saying, I want PlayStation to get their shit together, but when you hear comments like these, it brings you back to, like, "Guys, where are your games? What are you guys doing?" If you have this type of opinion
Yep.
about a freaking company that's out there buying, making things happen, and just catching up and running well, like, what do you want us to say back to you?
You
You
know
can't throw stones. It's so
You know what it is?
stupid.
They're living in the past, right? They think they're still talking about an Xbox who is Microsoft's side piece, right? Who's like
Yeah,
this little experiment that they're toiling away on that, yeah, at any given moment could have been gone if they didn't see what they wanted to see. That ship has sailed.
with
Satya
Starfield.
is all in on Xbox. Satya is down with Xbox. There's no going back. Phil has a seat at the table. He's not
Yeah,
somebody who has to go through some boss to get to Satya. It's Satya, Phil. Satya, Phil. That's it. That's it. Accept it. The $3 trillion company is not going to go and shutter Xbox in 3 years. Meanwhile, nobody has any concern about the $80 billion Sony,
I
who's
know.
like struggling with every division they have outside of PlayStation. Nobody's concerned that they're going to go away. Come on, man. Come on. Stop with the bullshit. Stop with the bullshit. All right. So we got another quote that came out of here. Phil was asked if Xbox is going to create AAA titles from Japan like Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon. If you guys don't know what those games are, in the 360 era, Xbox made a huge push into Japan. And they actually had like Miss Walker actually made both these games, I'm pretty sure, which was one of the original creators of Final Fantasy. Guy
Oh,
went and
nice.
made his own studio, and he made these 2 games. Now, Blue Dragon was more cartoony. Lost Odyssey was more of a, like, epic game. At the time, I must admit, I was not cultured enough in gaming to have played that game, those games.
Oh, I like the way you
I
said that.
wasn't into Japanese type RPGs and those type of, games.
You
I'm
were
not
missing out.
huge on them now, but I am 100% open to them, right? So, like, I
Yes.
played Yakuza Like a Dragon, which was like a turn-based game, and I put, like, it was, first of all, it's a stupid long game, right? Like, crazy long. I played for, I don't, my memory's not 100%, but it's somewhere between 25 and 45 hours. I don't
Oh,
remember if I
nice.
was on the tail end of that or the short end of that, but still, that's a long time to play a game that, in general, I'm not really,
You don't
like,
gravitate towards.
drawn
Yeah.
to normally, right? So now, if they went ahead and released the Lost Odyssey 2, I'm even tempted to go back, and because it's all back compat, to go back and play Lost Odyssey 1. I just never, I just, didn't get to do it when it first came out. Not to mention that I was much younger, and I mean, we were married, but there wasn't Game Pass, so we had to be very selective, right? At the
Yeah.
time when we first got married, we were kids. We had to kind of be selective as to what we were going to play.
Agreed.
So
Sid,
Phil Spencer,
welcome. Thank you so much
oh
for being here,
Sith,
baby.
yo, welcome, welcome. He says, "Sorry, I'm late. Work is crazy this morning." I
We
feel that,
appreciate you
man.
being here.
I was
Thank
late
you.
too because work. Oh, I didn't get to work, but still. Um, All right, so Phil Spencer says, in relation to making AAA titles from Japan like Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon, he says, "You can count on it. In fact, last year we launched Hi-Fi Rush. It was a small title, not as big as Blue Dragon, but it should have been high. It was high quality. Japanese game creators are also within Microsoft Game Studios, and while some titles have yet to be announced, we are also working with Japanese manufacturers to develop new games. Ooh. The development environment is growing, including first party and third party, so we can expect to see more Japanese titles in the future."
Nice.
This is the thing. He 100% hit it on the head. Hi-Fi Rush was a Japanese based game. Excuse me.
The art style did look like it was very well done.
The art
Very
style
anime,
was
I felt
amazing.
like.
Yeah, the art style was, and it, not just anime, but like super high level work,
Yes.
right? Like, it was cartoon looking, but it looked amazing
Yeah,
as
so
a
creative,
cartoon.
you
Not
know.
like, yeah, not just like your generic, cartoon, cell shaded
Anime, yeah.
graphics scenario. So, Hi-Fi Rush was a banger that was made by Tango Gameworks. And I gotta say, you know, we didn't talk about it last week because, or the week before, because the time, it just went long. But as far as games and stuff be coming out, Xbox Game Publishing did some type of keynote, where they were up on stage talking, and they said that they said they have between 12 and 13 games in development right now. And Xbox Game Publishing, what they don't actually make the game, they work with third parties, but they
Yeah,
are making it for Xbox. So there's 13 games that are being made by third party studios that are not owned by Xbox, but they're making Xbox exclusive games. That is dope. And the fact that, he's out here saying that we are working with Japanese studios to make games, one of the ones that went in my mind. All right. Now, I don't know where everybody's stance here is on this, but can they be working with Platinum Games? Can they be bringing Scalebound back to life? Is
back
that
from
a
the dead.
possibility? Mm, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Platinum's been, listen, this is what I say. Platinum was publicly begging Microsoft to work with them. And have you heard from Microsoft from Platinum lately? Has anybody heard much of anything from Platinum lately?
It's a good one, see?
I feel like if they're working with Microsoft and they got their wish, they're gonna stay the F shut and
Yep.
work
Hush,
and
hush,
prove
baby.
to Phil that taking a chance on them is gonna work out this time. Versus if they would have got shut down, I feel like they would still be out there trying to hustle and be public about it because they got messy, right? They're out here in the streets like, "Phil, come it's just work with us. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't Phil's fault. It was our fault." They're like trying to do everything they can to make Phil look their way and be like,
Yeah.
come on, board." I feel like I feel like Phil Spencer, being the genius that he is, realizes that even though Platinum went ahead and did some shady shit in the background before,
Yeah.
I think I think Phil knows that if he goes on stage and announces, "Take a look at this new game from our partners at Platinum Games," people
Yeah.
will lose their shit. Even though Platinum has like this rocky like resume, like sometimes they're superstars and they're like the best freaking developers like ever. And then sometimes they're garbage trash doo doo, right?
What do you think? Do you think
We
that's with budget? Like, what do you think
oh,
happens there?
so they have 2 teams, right? So they have their team that makes their bangers, and then honestly, the only way I look at it is they have their team to fill in the gaps and make money,
Okay.
right? So they go and get these smaller projects or like these projects that they don't necessarily care 100% about, but they're getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
So they have that team that does that, and it always shits the bed when it's that team. The other team can't seem to miss in general, but it's just the other team that's super shitty.
Yeah. So we're
So
talking passion, love put into it, and
yeah,
then,
and
like,
he's
things that they
wild.
have
Like
to
the
do
guy
to
who
get
runs it,
by.
Kamiya, he's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. You know what I'm saying? But he reminds me of like the Japanese version of Joseph Fair, what the guy who made It Takes Two, and
Yeah.
you know that guy that he was on stage and he said "fuck the Oscars" at the Game Awards. Um, which It Takes Two,
We
they
like
we
crazy, it's
started it,
entertaining.
we liked it, and then we never went back to it.
Yes.
We need to play that game. We should stream it. Um,
We need to
but
finish it. Yeah, we got pretty far,
yeah,
no?
yeah, we got pretty far.
Yeah.
At least I think so. I don't know how long the game is, but I think a
Yes.
platinum announcement would be fire. I honestly believe that. Because I think that it would, in Japan, remember, thinking, keeping in mind that we're focusing on Japanese studios, right? Like they're already working with Square. We know they're working with Sega, right? Capcom, they already have Exo Primal in the subscription. So we already have that going on. What would be a pop? What would be like, oh snap, what's this? Right? Platinum Games come back. Now, I don't know if I was in the minority, and maybe I was, but Scalebound to me, I was like, oh snap, this looks pretty dope. And Kamiya said that that was his dream game to make. And I think that at the end of the day, he was a little young and reckless when he was working with Microsoft. But I think
Okay.
now, if they were to revisit that, they would update it correctly. I think that that has a chance to be super dope if they do it right. They can also screw the pooch and not have
Screw
anything
the
come from it
food.
that's good. I feel like it would be a pop though. I feel like if Platinum Games came out on stage,
People
like
change, dude.
they do, and they mature. And I think
Yeah.
Kamiya was just always very immature, right? As a leader. So we'll see. We'll see what comes from that. Um so the chat is saying I also saw Jet Set Radio. Um I think Sega, if Sega's making that, I don't think that would be exclusive. I mean, it can be, but I don't know if that would be one of the exclusives. So, um, Jacob says Hi-Fi Rush was Unreal Engine 4. Hi-Fi Rush 2 could be in the works in Unreal Engine 5. Well, I mean, any new game that was Unreal based is going to be Unreal Engine 5, right? Infinite Umber knows this, right? He has Umber has a love of the Unreal Engine 5. I do too. I'm just not as vocal as about it, but I feel like everything should be made in Unreal Engine 5 for the most part, outside of the very few in-house engines that are out there that are phenomenal.
Yeah, they're working well.
Um, she maybe says, I don't remember much about Scalebound. Yeah, it's it was pretty cool. You should Google it, watch it. It was pretty dope. Eric says, sorry I robbed you. Can I have more money? Platinum Games. Well, this is the thing, right? You got to remember, Microsoft doesn't have to just like pay them just to pay them. They could set up a contract with them and be like, listen, we're only paying on milestones, right? So maybe they get a small upfront, but like if you don't come through on your first milestone, you don't hit that date, you don't hit this, we ain't paying and you ain't getting anything, or we're cutting the deal and it's over, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, there is talent there. Let's we can't be blind to the fact that like these people made Bayonetta, which is a dope ass action game, right?
Yeah.
Like it's fire, right?
It
The
is.
last
And
one
if they
was
had a
stuck
lot
on the
more
Nintendo
money,
Switch. Say it
it'll be
again.
looking a lot better.
If they had more money, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
well, that's the thing. If they're funded as a first party studio, obviously not in ownership, but when you work with Xbox Games Publishing, you're basically treated as first party. Like you get all the benefits of being first party.
So I think
So
the beauty of what they're building right now with Xbox is that if something happens like this and it goes sideways, they don't need the games right now because they have so much that they're doing. So holding something back, stopping something is not gonna be that big of a deal anymore.
absolutely, absolutely. T2 Comic Books Overviews, welcome, my man. Thank you for stopping by. He
Welcome.
says, not entirely true. PlayStation fanboys don't mature. LOL. Those are facts. Those are facts. I'm more
That's
talking
true.
about like the business aspect of it, right? Like there was a time that Platinum felt like they couldn't do wrong, that they were on top, that they were going to be around forever. And that shit sinks in real quick as you continue to go and your business is like, shit, we need to find things to keep us going. Man, we messed up that relationship we had with Microsoft. You
Well, see,
know,
money also like competition right now is not the same. Like there are a lot of people out there making games, great games, and you're kind of at the mercy of, who takes you in.
absolutely. Absolutely agreed. G maybe says, I wonder if they would require more oversight working with Platinum Games because of what happened. Absolutely. That'll just straight
Yeah,
facts. Like they're gonna have
stay on their
somebody
asses.
in the studio. Like they're gonna they're gonna take somebody, put them in the studio, and literally
Cameras
have them just standing there.
everywhere. We're
Yep.
watching you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there'll be no room for
There's no
no
trust
wiggle
there.
room. Yeah,
We gotta
they gotta
build it.
build the trust. They're gonna have
Yeah.
to build it.
That's
But
difficult to do. So,
agreed. Agreed
but
100%.
possible.
It is possible.
Yeah.
Um, let me see what else. Oh, this one was pretty cool. Um, Phil is going to meet with Kojima and go take a look at the Kojima game. And based off what he said, like he says, I'm very much looking forward to meeting with Kojima and checking on the progress of the project. He said that it's been going along well, but I want to see if I had seen another one that dug into it a little bit more, but I guess maybe I didn't save it. But I heard I remember it being him saying like that, Kojima is trying to do something new. Like this is not a just regular Kojima game. He's trying to
Yeah.
experiment. He's trying to do something new. We're just gonna let him do what he needs to do
Do
to
his
get it. So
thing.
there's not like a pressure of you got to get this game out, which
Yeah.
honestly, yo, the fact that's why as Xbox fans, I think we can all agree that we want them to buy as many people as they can because the more people they have, the better the relationships they'll have with all of these studios because it's no more like this, oh my god, you got to get this game now because we need it, and if you don't, then like you don't have to
That's
have that
key,
type of
dude.
relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, well, we have plenty of games coming. We want your game, right? But it's not like live or die. Give me an idea of when it's going to be ready. Great, but like take your time, make it something special. The last thing that Phil wants, I think, is for people to have, to take a look at Kojima's game when it's announced and compare it to Death Stranding as far as like graphically and like what's going on, and not have it be unanimous that this is a much more special game than Death Stranding was, right? Because
Yeah.
they're looking at it like this is Kojima's first Xbox exclusive game. This
Yeah, it
needs
would be
to
a big
pop.
deal.
This needs to be big. It needs to be special. It needs to be something that's a big deal. Um, so I think he's just gonna let him rock and do what he needs to do to get the game in a dope place. I thought that there might have been a chance for this TGS to see his game. This just makes me believe that we will see it next year. Because if he's going to go see it and there's something to watch happen, I think
Yeah.
that they'll be able to show it to us either summer for the E3 or for Tokyo Game Show. Next year, we might get a sneak peek because
Do
Kojima's
you still
pretty quick. Go
do
ahead.
you still feel that urgency of having them tell you and show you, knowing, like, all the studios that they have and everything they've been doing?
Um, I do. I do. I know games are
Okay.
coming, but I wanna know what games are coming because I
Yeah.
wanna I don't want my mind thinking of, like, possibilities. I want my mind thinking of, "Alright, this is coming down the
Reality.
line." Like, this leak that we had that we discussed for 4
Oh
hours
my god,
on
yes.
Saturday,
That was crazy. I still can't believe that happened.
yeah, just the topic of the show was the show, pretty much. That's why we're talking about these things today. But when you look at that Bethesda list, that gives me that roadmap. Like, okay, I know there's a new Doom coming. I know that the Oblivion remastered and Fallout remastered are coming. Like, that's what I want to see. I know that they're working on a new IP that they were heavily rumored to be working on a Mandalorian. So you put two and two together, a new Mandalorian game probably being made. Like I like knowing what's to come. Just like I would imagine, like Marvel fans like having that roadmap of what movies they can expect in the future.
Yeah,
I just like knowing. Now I don't want to just have it leaked to me. I do want the pop. I want them to give me a showcase
that
and
excitement, yeah.
blow my mind when I see something that I wasn't expecting, right? So I don't want it to happen like this. I want them to show me something. And I understand that you can't have it both ways. If the game is really far out, then how are they going to show it to you? But I mean, they did do that with Fable, which was a amazing set piece, like a tone piece that they did for
Yeah.
us on that E3 the year before. And I'm okay with getting those type of things. I still think your first reveal, I'm okay with a CG like approximation of what it should look like because CG is not like it used to be, right? CG used to be like, oh my god, you're showing me something that this game will never look like. Newsflash, you go watch that CG trailer of Fable that they announced, and then you go watch the actual the actual trailer of Fable, the one that till this day pony fans are still
It
believing
wasn't gameplay.
that that is not real, even though you have developers coming out saying, "Bro, this is real." You know what I'm saying? It's real. Um,
Such a
Jacob says
compliment.
Nick said that the huh? Say it again, baby.
Such a compliment, though.
It is a
It's not
compliment. It's
real.
huge. Yeah. That wait till it comes out. Oh my god, it's gonna be crazy. Jacob says Nick said that the licensed IP game in the league is Disney, Mandalorian. That's what I'm saying. I believe that that's what it is. Okay, I believe that that's where it is. I feel like it's the Mando
That would
game.
be such a
Mandalorian
badass game,
was
dude.
dude. He was too like the show was too big. It was too big for somebody to not say, "Yo, we got to make a game out of this." Right?
Yeah.
That's just the facts, and it's been rumored forever. And as we now know, based off all these leaks and stuff that we've been getting, and the fact that a lot of these rumors have turned out to be true, even some crazy rumors from back in the day are still trickling out. Like, oh snap, this is actually what's happening, right? So, like, what was the oh man, it came out in one of Phil Spencer's emails now that it was true that people I forget what it was. But like there was leaks in the past that people were like, nah, that's fake. That's not happening. It turns out these were thoughts that were happening. Oh, WB. WB. People were going in on, oh, we think Xbox is trying to buy WB and people don't want to believe it. Well, Turns out they were true. They were trying. They were looking at it. They were going to do it. Right. So at the end of the day, I feel like where there's smoke, there's fire. Mandalorian deserves a game. If Sony was making it, somebody would have said something,
Yeah.
right? Somebody would have said something. They're not
Do you
making it.
think that this leak and everything that took place, we were really excited that they gave us a direct in January this year.
Yes,
And you and I were talking and hoping that they will do the same and they continue on this path, right?
I feel like
Do
they
you
have to. Yeah.
think that the leaks are going to affect that if they were gonna go ahead and do it again?
I would say no because I think at the end of the day, just like I said, like it's great to know what's coming, but I didn't want to know like this, right? So I
Yes,
feel like, first of all, as big as of a news topic it was for all of us, like the hardcore ingrained into Xbox and gaming and PlayStation, all that stuff, we want to like read all of that and find out all the tidbits. The greater audience, right, outside of our Twitter bubble, they're they're
yeah.
not going to know about this. No one is going to find out about this for the most part. People don't that consume gaming
Yeah,
that
the
way.
majority of people are not gonna know
Yeah.
that all
The
this stuff was
majority of
fake.
people find out about a new game one of two ways. They go, like when we were kids, they go to Walmart, they run over to the game section and be like, "Oh my, look, mom, what's this game? This is new." That's how it's still done. They
Yeah,
go into GameStop, they do that. Or if they're digital, they turn on their Xbox and they got an ad on the
people
screen
yep,
that says, "Oh, look at this," or there's a sale. So you go into the sale and you see all these games that you didn't know came out. So like
yeah.
that's still the way the majority of gamers in the world find their game. So stuff like this, most people don't know about. So it's not going to change their plans. It just ruins the impact for the hardcore. But I don't think it's going to be ruined if on January you show me Indiana Jones looking amazing, looking like our Nathan Drake from Uncharted, right? And he's running around, graphics are crazy, awesome story, look like the way they deliver the story looks great, great action. Like that's not going to everybody's going to be going crazy when they see that,
I agree.
right? So
So for me, I'm almost more excited about it. And the reason for that is because I feel like this is gonna make them push even further, like to give us a better show, a bigger show. I
yes,
don't think that they can take
with
back
surprises.
anything that they've given us because they need to go ahead and give us that and give us bigger things, right? They can't go ahead and pull back from us now. But yeah, I do feel like they're gonna make a bigger deal about these things, and they're probably gonna work a lot harder on them so that it's better than people even imagine or expect. So I think this
So,
leak, in a way, kind of backfired.
well, no, it backfired in a way that it was good. Like it didn't hurt
Yes,
Xbox to do the
in a
leak.
good way. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't think
it was a
listen,
good
in
way.
my mind, I still believe that, like, potentially, this could have been done maliciously, even though it came from, like, Microsoft, there could be a snitch in there. Like, this is so much to have happened, like, by mistake. And I know, like, things happen. I mean, see, obviously, on a smaller scale, if you wanna share your story, you had something like this happen to you, where you were supposed to fax something somewhere, and you faxed it somewhere else.
Oh,
That was
damn.
such a funny story,
You're taking it
but,
old
like,
school.
dude, like, mistakes like that could
They do
happen.
happen.
Um
They do happen.
yes. So when I think of that happening to you, I'm like, "Okay, so this can't happen," right? This is not so out there. But at the same time, there are a lot of bad people out there, and Xbox is making a lot of moves that you never know who got paid to do a little something, something on the side or who's bitter about something else and said, "Let me get you with this." You just don't know.
I agree. I agree 100%. And like what you just said is, the way I look at it is this is why I want to know about stuff, right? Because when you
Yeah.
know about stuff, like it relieves the idea of like even though you know that they have all these studios, like you don't know what they're doing, right? Like are they gonna make dope games that I like? Are they gonna make stupid games? They're gonna make like whack shit. But the fact that they
Tell me what you're
are
working on.
yeah, I want to know, right? Like I want to know. And seeing the leak from Bethesda just made like it it took a weight off that I was looking for, because I did want to see what's next after these games that we know. Not that I want to play them now, not that I'm not going to enjoy and embrace the games we're getting. Like I said, I'm playing Starfield. New games are coming out. I'm not moving on from it. I'm going to keep playing it until I get my fill of it. So I'm not looking to just, have them come and then give me more, give me more. That's not what I want. I
Yeah,
just
I
want to
know what you
know
mean. You
what
want
the
that
more
feeling where you're
is.
sitting there stomping your feet because you're so freaking excited. That
Exactly. Like, I
you
want to
want it
get
to
up
gradually
and just like
happen,
lose
not
my
just be like
shit like I
Twister game.
did. Absolutely. Yeah, like this E3, yo, Microsoft killed it, bro. I don't give a shit who you are. If you were not fucking losing your mind, come on, man. Yo, when you
They
saw
really
Fable,
did.
I was like, yo, they did it. They did exactly what we
Best
wanted to do, man.
show, hands down, blew my
Easy.
mind.
Ever. It was so good,
Especially,
bro.
like, with everything else around it being such trash. Like, I was like,
Yep.
"Man, come on, pull it together. We need a good show." Like, every PlayStation,
One
whack.
second.
Nintendo, I don't know how that went down. See, money, I'm missing your pretty face.
Yeah, no, sorry. It's getting hot in my office. I forgot.
It's
I
alright,
ran
baby.
in
You
here
look good
and
with
I
that
forgot to
hoodie. I
turn on
love
the
a
air,
hoodie,
bro.
man.
Oh, I do have a hoodie too. See, I ran in so
Yeah.
fast. It was raining. I just ran in. Nah, but that E3 was amazing. Like, and I need them. So okay, let's take 1 second with this, because it's not a topic, but now that we're talking about it, it is kind of in my mind, because we have kind of seen it play out, right? For what we were kind of seeing in the very beginning of the year to essentially now we're at the end, right? There's nothing, I don't think there's any other
Yes.
shows outside of the VGAs, right? So the year started off with the direct, right? Which I thought was amazing, right? The developer direct focused on 4 or 5 games, and gave us that big drop, all this fun stuff. That was amazing. That's the blueprint.
It
They need to
was.
do that. In my mind, I thought that they would do this again, like not just in the beginning of the year, but maybe like in towards the end of the year, or not towards the end of the year, because then it would bump up, but like, another quarter, give us another one of
Yeah, we'll
these
get a
things,
little bit more.
right?
Kinda like how
But
Nintendo does it.
yes, exactly. But that didn't happen, right? So we didn't get one of those. We just got the one, which was dope. But again, I thought we were gonna get more. Then we had E3 was again amazing, hands down, wonderful. Um, then we had Gamescom, which this is the thing about Gamescom. Gamescom was huge this year. Gamescom actually made me really feel like we still need E3, because Gamescom felt like E3. Like that, like Gamescom felt like E3, not the summer showcase. The summer showcase, I mean, Xbox's showcase obviously felt like E3, but like the rest of the week, it just didn't feel that way.
It fell
Whereas
flat.
E3 normally it's like every day you're getting big news that pops up, and it's like, yo, this is fire, dude. Like we keep getting
Yeah.
more and more. Like Gamescom gave that to me this year, right? Which was dope. And so, but it does look like Gamescom is going to be the place that they do like the deeper dive from E3, right? So they gave us another Starfield peak, right? They went further into Towerborn, and we got to get more announcements from that. And that was
Hold
that
on.
was
See, I'll be
dope. But
right back, okay?
yep, no worries. That was dope, but it's not like it's not like a crazy, like, oh, look at these crazy new announcements at Gamescom, right? It was more like they took whatever the headliner game is for the fall, and they put that boom front and center. Starfield took over Gamescom for me. I was playing Baldur's Gate 3 literally all the way up to Gamescom, and then all of a sudden fucking Starfield just took over the world when they did that live action trailer to start the opening night live. And then you got more and more information. Interviews were popping. All this stuff was going on. It just took over. Like it was an Xbox show. Honestly, the whole week was just focused on Xbox. Everything we were getting was so good. But again, keeping that in mind, it's more of a follow up on their E3 show. right? As opposed to a big, like, here are new announcements that are huge. I don't I mean, maybe I'm missing something. Please in the chat, write if they announce something big at Game Award, that at Gamescom that I don't remember seeing. But if it if they did, put it in the chat. But I feel like it was just like Starfield, Forza. They showed some more um Towerborn, like hands-on on these games. We got Stalker, right? So it's kind of like just following up on the games we already knew were coming out. Just more. I mean, which was fine because it hit so hard. But I wonder, if they could not have made it where we got a bigger splash with a new game announcement that was big, or showing us a new game that we weren't expecting to see, so a deeper dive into or whatever. So that was Gamescom, and then you have Tokyo Game Show, which Tokyo Game Show, I would say it was good. Like the Game Pass announcements, we knew that was going to be a big part of it, and they delivered with that. They also delivered with Octopath Traveler, right? So getting that was dope. The Yakuza games going to Game Pass, that was dope. But again, when Matt Booty went ahead and was talking with Phil at the that E3 show with Giant Bomb, right? The interview, he made it seem like we were gonna get like these beats where we're showing new stuff, right? All the time. And as it is right now, Tokyo Game Show had zero new stuff, right? This was just, we got new Game Pass releases and new games coming to Xbox that weren't on Xbox, but we didn't get like a you know fresh look at whatever Tango Gameworks is working on now, right? Because we know Ghostwire Tokyo has been around for a while, right? So why not throw us a teaser, right? Why not give us a little bit, of something that makes us come out of Tokyo Game Show like, yo, we got all these announcements and they showed us Ghostwire Tokyo too, right? Like the leak kind of filled in that gap now, so we know it's coming, right? But before that, we didn't know. So it's like, man, hopefully they do this. Um, so, I mean, and again, Sick says it in the chat. TGS was truly Japan focused. Dope, right? For sure. That's really dope. But fuck, like, give me some Japan focused fucking new shit. You know what I'm saying? Like anything new that's big for Japan. Whether it's a first party, whether it was one of the games that Xbox game publishing is working on. We just read Phil's quote that they are going to be doing AAA games for the Xbox. I guess maybe they're just not ready, right? So as far as like their other games, they're ready, right, to show more. But I feel like this particular time, um, they're not ready for Japan. I think next year they will, because if they're talking about this next year, they'll have probably exclusive stuff to reveal at their Tokyo Game Show. But what it looks like, basically, what I'm saying is the first half of the year looks like they're going to tell us everything about new stuff, and then the back half of the year they're just going to fill in more information about what's coming at the back end of the year, which I mean, I'm not disappointed because I'm very happy with everything Xbox has been doing and has been giving us. But I feel like, I hope that they wouldn't, like, that's typically what happens, right? Like you have your big fall games that get revealed, and then normally at a Gamescom or something like that, they just do more in depth of those games, right? Fill them in more so you have more idea what's going on with those games. But like, I feel like you have so many studios now that you should be at least giving us one sneak peek of something to come in the future. Just one. If we had one game come out of Tokyo Game Show as a sneak, not well, Tokyo Game Show and from Gamescom as a sneak peek at what's to come after these big games are coming out, you know, I would say I would have been happier with the situation. Um, Not to say that I'm not happy. Like I said, Starfield is everything, bro. Starfield is so fucking good, my man. But yeah, I just feel like I was hoping for more, and let's see how they end the year at the Game Awards. But even then, I feel like they're not going to go crazy because they have their January show, right? Like the video game, the VGAs last year, they did shit. They showed up in the seat, but not on the screen, right? We didn't have anything but little Game Pass announcements or whatever it was. So we had nothing big, and especially coming off of every year prior to that for like the last 3 years, they revealed the Series X there. They showed us Hellblade. They showed us more Hellblade. Like there was so much that came from it, and to not really push that in any way now with the rest of these shows, just kind of like I don't know. The VGAs, if they show us something, that would be dope. We were talking, I think in the show last night with Web Dave and Retri. I'm pretty sure it was there that we were talking about the idea of you know Hellblade 2. Are they going to show it at the VGAs since that was the place that they typically showed it before it was at E3 this year? Like, are they going to give us like a snippet? Because I feel like if they're doing a January developer direct, like I feel like you have to have Hellblade there, right? Like that's got to be the headliner because for all intents and purposes, I believe that that's going to be the first game out the gate, the first AAA big game next year out the gate is going to be Hellblade in my mind. So it's like, are you going to come out and show us some of that on the VGA and do like a watch more at our developer direct next month? Is that going to be the way you do it, or are you going to skip the VGAs again, or are you going to announce something new there? I don't know. I think I expected a little more on the back half of the shows than we actually got. Right. So I know that was a tangent, but
I like those.
yeah, I definitely thought we had to speak our piece. Hey, baby, you're back.
Yes, my love.
All right, let me see. Jacob says this TGS was good, but the 2022 TGS was better. Yeah, I feel that. G maybe says plus almost everything was day one on the Game Pass. It was beyond belief amazing. Yeah, I mean I get that. Wait, where did he? Kojima is always doing something new. Yeah, okay. Let's see here. Every we just think about that. We only saw ZeniMax Studios roadmap and it looks stacked. Just imagine the rest of MS owned studios. I 100% agree. And like we were talking about, Doodle, before, it's like I know they're coming. I know we have so
Yeah.
many games in the pipeline. I just want the tease. Give me the
Yes.
tease. Tell me what it is. You know what I'm saying? Let me know that there's a Mando game going. Listen, I'm just as excited to see Indiana Jones, knowing that there's an Indiana Jones coming, that we got just the name trailer, a few years back or a couple years back, right? Like I'm still excited for it. Like that's all I want to know. I want to know that it's coming.
I
Just let
understand
me
that.
let me have that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Victor, what's good? Welcome, my man. Thanks for
Welcome.
coming in. Go ahead, Doodle. You were gonna say something, baby?
No, we all like a good tease.
Yeah, I just want to just let me know. Just let me know.
I get
Victor
it.
says, the ZeniMax League might have changed as it doesn't have the Quake games. Yes. So they are older, right? So not only are they going to change, also remember this, and let's be clear. This was the roadmap they gave to Xbox when being purchased. They are the ones saying, "Hey, Xbox, we have this game coming out the end of 2020 or first half of 2021, right, which is still the fiscal year 2020. We have these games coming out. We have this game coming out the following year. So they gave Xbox the roadmap, but these were before Xbox got involved. This was before Xbox funding, right? So there's 100% going to be games that were started that are not on this list that Xbox has now funded, right? So for sure, 100%, there's way more that's going to be coming. Quake is rumored to be coming for sure. Six Layer says big facts. E3 is needed. SGF is worthless. Yo, facts. It's as boring as the Game Awards. People only ever watch them for
Oh
the
my
trailers,
God.
not the actual awards. Yo,
I
Six Layer, you're
freaking
speaking
love it.
so much facts, bro. Summer Games Fest was
Yes,
trash this year, bro.
it
First of all,
was. It was
it was.
torture. Thank you for
I
saying
don't
that. Let's
understand.
go.
It's like so basic, bro. Like it's so basic. Like this is not
I agree.
E3. And like hashtag not my E3. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like fucking E3 had
let's let's start that
so
up,
many
baby.
showcases. Yo, it's true, man. It doesn't compete. And I don't know. I don't know if I like Jeff's style anymore. I feel like he's like become
I
obviously
personally
you have
don't.
to do it for the money, but I think he's so much about like the advertisements and all this stuff that he kind of lost
And
touch.
it
Plus,
comes
he's revealed
off.
himself. Go ahead.
This is the thing. If you can do that seamlessly, great. If you can find a
Yeah,
way to make it you incorporated and exciting or a part of the show, but it's very obvious and almost uncomfortable. I don't like it.
fact. I agree. I agree. And the other thing is, he's really revealed. I think this last few, basically since the PlayStation 5 got announced, he's shown us his colors so much, being such a like hardcore PlayStation guy. And it's not that you can't be a PlayStation dude, right? Like that's fine.
I
But
know.
like you would see him like post about the PlayStation news in a good way and then not cover the Xbox news in a good way or only shine a light on it in a bad way. It's like, come on, man. Out here
Yeah.
blowing goddamn controllers
Oh my gosh. I
on
was thinking the
camera.
same thing.
Just like,
Yeah.
fuck out of here, man. What are you doing? What are you doing, man?
Time to put it down and say, "I don't wanna do this anymore."
Yeah, man. Just walk away.
Yeah.
Jacob says to think that Ubisoft let Xbox show off the Star Wars game before Ubisoft Forward was awesome. Yes, that was awesome. Very dope. Eric says Summer Showcase wants to be E3, but it was very lackluster. Whatever E3 returns as or is replaced by needs to go back to before they allowed everyone in, because then
Thank
surprises
you.
also became rarer. Agreed.
Eric,
Listen,
you're
I
right.
I do believe that um it's dope to let the fans in because the first year that it opened up in 2017 that they first
Oh
started
my
doing it,
god.
my
I'm so
doodle
happy you
let
went
me
over there.
go, and that was super dope. That'll be something I always remember.
That was
But
so
it should
cool.
be like they do in Gamescom, right? It's like the first few days are just for the press, just for the news people, and then you open it up to um the players and the fans. But I do want them to go back to that style, man. Like again, Gamescom felt like that. Like if you took Gamescom, not opening night live, but just Gamescom in general, and then put that in the June time slot with Microsoft doing their E3. You know what also messed it up? Like PlayStation, Nintendo. I mean, Nintendo, they had one, but it's like they all want to get their own time. It's like, dude, just for one time a year, get out of your own ass. Let's get everybody together in gaming.
Yeah,
Let's
just
make
ride with it.
everyone excited, everyone pumped, and just give us what we want. New
But
game
that's the
announcement.
thing.
Just
See,
do it, bro.
I've been saying this. This should all just be about the games, about the consumer, about the players, for the love of that. Like, this is what this needs to be about, evolving, making better games, excited for each other. I love the fact that Philly Phil goes and he congratulates everyone, and he acknowledges what's going on outside of Xbox, and I think that if they all had that mentality instead of always yes, there is competition. Yes, but it should be in a I wanna do better. I wanna do more, not a I freaking hate you. That's just spitefulness, that's envious, that's just kind of disgusting and a really bad message to send, especially considering how far games have come and how much this industry has grown. And to have the leaders out there behaving in the way that Jim Ryan has this
Yeah,
past year alone, it's sickening because it's sending that same message to the fans. And this is why, even though they tend to just behave this way in general, they got that approval from their leader. It's like, go ahead. This is who we are. This is how we behave. Again, they should be able to come together. E3 does need to come back. And if they don't come back, something else has to come in and take that place. And it's not what we got this past year, this year. It cannot be that. That
Facts.
cannot be it. The
Facts.
excitement, I love
100%.
the fact that you went and got to experience that, especially now that it's gone
And I'm
and
so
it may
thankful
not be
for
them
you for
come
allowing
back
that.
with it, but we need it back because that is the excitement of the summer for gamers. I remember you
Absolutely.
waiting for that week, and it's like, "Okay, here comes the week." Like, that
Yep.
was just time for you to really ingrain yourself into that world, and it excited me so much to see you be so passionate about something like that. But again, it's become so rotten. We talk about, like, online gaming, right? You used to play, Ghost Recon. You used to play all these games online, and it was like you will get in the chat, right? And you guys were teams. You were like, "Yo, look out from the side. They're over here. They're up there." And it was such a chill experience, right? And it's
Yep.
like now everybody's out there just trashing each other, talking shit to their own team. Get it together. Stop spreading nastiness. Let's go back to love, peace, and evolving and be kind to each other. You never know what anybody's going through.
Agreed. Agreed, baby. That was very well put. I mean, unfortunately, gaming is so big right now that it'll never go back to that time when it was literally like we would get into Ghost Recon,
Yo,
Rainbow Six, New Vegas, and all that
yes.
stuff. And you would just, or Rainbow Six 3, and you would hop on, and just people were just so pumped to be gaming with other people and just having a good time and, treating the game serious. Like we played the game for real, not bullshit, not put on music in the background or just
No,
talk
you
shit. It
were
was
there to
like, all right, yo,
play,
go
you were
this
there
way,
to
blah, blah, go this
focus.
way.
I had my eyes open looking out for you
Yep.
every time you were playing. It was dope. And listen,
Now
when
you
we
lost that,
talk
man.
about yes, 'cause when we talk about gaming, it's just like this is the best time because of the graphics and everything we have right now. But when you think of, like, the way that we behaved and the way that that was the time. That was when it was fun to go ahead and have that online experience. It's not it right
Agreed.
now.
Agreed 100%. Um, for sure. Um, all right. So Six Layer says, and this was known since Game Awards #2. Remember what won Game of the Year during the first Game Awards? Fucking Madden. Holy shit. I don't remember that, but that's wild. G maybe says, looking at what Nintendo and more so Sony had to show, I can see why they canceled the trip. It wasn't worth it to them. Yeah, but that's why, like, I mean, Nintendo's E3 was dope. This other part, I don't know what Tokyo Game Show, I guess they didn't really, it was basically a refresh of what they already did, both places. They just showed us what they showed us already, just
Yeah,
more
but
in
you know
depth.
what? Phil showed up. That's a great point. But then again, Phil showed up everywhere. Everywhere when they were
Yep.
having like the hardest year. That was crazy. This guy went out there, he supported everybody else, and he showed his face because guess what? As much as they want to say that Xbox is out in a couple of years, they have not been. Even when they were down to in the ground, in the dirt, they were not gone. They were present. They showed face. And I think that that's it. There's something to learn with that.
I feel that 100%. Looks like we have some breaking news from Six Layer. He says, uh-oh, a ransomware group claims to have breached all Sony systems. He
What?
quotes it saying, "We have successfully compromised all of Sony systems. We won't ransom them. We will sell the data due to Sony not wanting to pay. Data is for sale." Wow,
What?
that's wild. That's wild. I mean, this is the thing. Like, PlayStation is what they are, but like, you gotta stop the shit. Like, leave people alone. These companies have their data. Leave it alone. Stop. Fuck, man.
It's crazy what people can do though. Like log into, break through, like it's insane. And listen, I would not be parading around to freaking steal this shit. They're gonna find your ass. You're getting locked up. This
Are
is a freaking
stupid. Who do you
situation. That's
think?
some
Like,
dumb shit. You wanted to
how
do
do you
something
think it's
stupid, go ahead and do it, put
possible?
it out and run, motherfucker. Like, don't stay out there and be like, give me that money, give me that pay. They're gonna find your ass. That's crazy.
They're
Dumbass.
wild, dude.
Some
People are so
dumbass shit to
stupid.
do.
Jacob says, idea, make a game which is a fighting game like For Honor from Ubisoft based in the ancient Japan. You know, For Honor is actually pretty dope. I wish it was a real game. Wow, it is a real game, but I wish it was more like just a regular single player game, and that was just the way you played it. The whole battle, everybody, multiplayer part was cool, but like I'm definitely would have been more into it if it had the other part being single player. And then G Maybe says TGS had more reveals than Gamescom. Xbox at least had a presence. They will have more to show when they understand that audience better. Agreed. All right. So we're gonna be wrapping up soon, guys. I'm just gonna go
This is
ahead.
a 1-hour show. Has it been an hour yet?
How
deep into this are we?
Honestly, I mean, that was just the second thing to talk about on the list. I feel like we just did the same thing again. This is wild. This was supposed to be the fill-in. But yeah, so I'll bring it up again here. We'll kind of do another quick version, but I'll use the quick version filling in the other gaps that we didn't do. So Starfield is it hit a big milestone, man. 10 million players. That's huge, right? 10 million players. It's a big thing. It is officially the biggest launch of a Bethesda game ever, which is fire. They did it in such a short amount of time.
Well deserved.
Absolutely. Some of the details come from Christopher Dring, where he focuses on like Europe. First of all, I don't really like this guy, Christopher Dring. Like, I don't really like his style.
What's my fault? What did I do now?
See, Doodle, this is your fault now. Yes, it is. I like this idea. Yes, what? Lucky Yobi.
Put everything on
Lucky
Doodle.
Yobi is in. It's all your fault, Doodle. It's all your fault.
What did I do, guys? Take it easy on Doodle.
Yeah, no. It's all right, Doodle. It's okay. I'll take the blame. It's my fault.
What is though? I don't even know what we're talking about.
Fault. Nobody knows anymore. We're all in a different world. Eric says Phil sent them. If we leak, they leak. Oh snap! Yo, he went in.
Listen, I'm sorry, Eric. That's kind of what I felt, and it felt kind of good. But I love that you said it. So thank you for that. But yeah. They just needed to listen. It's never good when this happens, but listen, they were out there celebrating, and Payback's a bitch.
Payback is a bitch, except that they didn't get any fun tidbits from it, but instead they just got their shit taken.
Yeah.
So, big move in Europe. Starfield is officially, remember, this game's on Game Pass. Starfield is the 5th fastest selling game across Europe this year. In Europe, where Xbox barely has a presence, all right, or not the same type of presence. Starfield was technically on sale for longer due to early access, but this is purely sales, no Game Pass data. Starfield comes ahead of Forza Horizon 5 as the biggest Xbox launch this generation. Facts. Starfield out here slapping shit up. It's so weird. Like, I almost wish we can pause the game industry for a little bit and just let me play Starfield without anything coming out. And then when I finish, I'll be like, unpause, you know what I'm saying? And then things can come out. That would be great for me. But it seems like I'm just going to be stuck playing Starfield in the glory that is Starfield for a while everybody else moves on at some point.
Maybe there's no rush. Enjoy it. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I am enjoying it. And then
you played last
just
night.
As a side,
that was dope.
Say it again.
I was watching you play. You were playing last night.
Oh yeah, that shit was good, man. I'm still on that damn one side quest that I just took a smuggling run, went over there. That turned into a whole big thing. After I finished that, he sent me somewhere else. On my way somewhere else, I took a distress signal from somebody on this planet, went to go help them, had to go back into space to fix the satellite. When I got up there, there's 3 freaking crazy ships coming at me. I had to destroy all of them. That was wild. Oh my God.
You did crazy. Good though. And your
It was
ship
crazy.
your
And then
ship
I
looks
landed.
really good now that I'm like, you're not telling me what it is, you're just rocking with it. It looks really good, babe.
Yeah, it's really dope. It's really
It's
dope.
big
And then
too.
one of the after I did that, I was collecting the debris, and then I saw this other ship that said starship, some shit like it's like a, I don't know, abandoned. So I just clicked on it and it said I could land there. I was like, oh snap. Landed by the ship, went onto a whole new adventure, had a bunch of crazy shit happen. Yo, this game is wild, bro. I don't care what anybody says. I cannot. This is the game of generation. Easy, bro. The game of like many generations. All right. So there was a mod that was made that's been making the rounds, which has a loading free travel system when you're in a solar system. So what
Nice.
they did is, you know how you might see a planet over here and you're over here and you're like, man, that's too far. I'm just gonna do that quick travel.
Yes.
Well, they went in and they sped it up and they removed the loading screen. So they made the speed so much faster. So when you're flying, it looks like you're actually getting there. So you can actually get there much faster and it
Oh,
doesn't
that's
load.
good.
So it does show that there is a version of Starfield that can be done that way. And to be clear, I don't think Bethesda ever said we can't do that. I think they looked at it and said it's not fun to do that. Like once you do
Yeah.
the battle, like we're going to bring the battle to you. We don't need you to see ships 4 hours away, fly all the way over there and then start a battle. No, you're going to go into space, you're going to like pop up and boom, there's people to
Let's
fight
go.
or there's something going on. And then after you're done with that, click on the mission and teleport your ass over there. Right? They're just trying to make it faster because there's so much of a big game that you don't want to waste time doing that stuff. Like there's way more
Yeah.
interesting things to be doing. But you know, people are people and they're gonna want to show that it was possible. So they did it, and it is in fact possible. They made it where they sped up the speed and no loading screens, and you could just travel anywhere in that particular solar system that you're in. So
That's
I think that was
perfect. That's
dope.
really good,
That was dope.
actually. And a lot of changes
Absolutely.
will be made, and a lot of new things will be coming in because they keep working on these games, you know, which is the beauty of it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Last thing about just Starfield is the fact that remember that song, the Children of the Sky
Yes,
song
I
that they
do.
had,
The video
which
was
was pretty
stunning.
dope? Um,
Yeah.
we watched it and they had a music video, but the music video was all in game, right? And it was just like a trailer basically with the song on it.
Yes.
They have since released an actual live action music video that's in the vein of the live action short that Starfield made that opened up opening night live. So they have like real
Cool.
people in for the actual video, and it looks pretty dope. It looks pretty dope.
That's really
I
cool.
not gonna lie, I was very happy with it. Jacob says, no, wait, not that one. Over here. Six Layer says, I got that mission with the old ship. Don't know what I'll choose. Every choice has a consequences for sure.
It
200-year-old
does.
ship. And even all these side missions are as detailed as some proper missions in other games. I swear to God, what I've been doing is nowhere near the main story. And this could have been a game easy. Like this could have just been this whole mission that I've been on could have just been a game. So it's true, man. This is like the game that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Jacob says, I
Everybody
was
has a
boarding a
different
ship.
experience.
Say that again.
Everyone has a different experience. That's how big of a game this is.
Agreed.
It's
100%.
crazy. And you can choose what you
100%.
wanna focus on. That's what I love.
Agreed. Jacob says, I was boarding a ship, killing everyone, but was unable to sit and claim the ship. So I got between 39K and 40K bounty and was arrested by the UC, but nothing happened. Well, Eric says, I love Starfield, but I did want space travel like freelancer. I get that. I mean, there's people who do want that. It's just, they had to pick their battle, and see what they wanted to do. Imagine if Xbox began working on a game by 2030 that released in 2050. That would be wild. That would be unnecessary. 20 years working on a game. That's
Better
a
be the
lot.
best freaking game ever existed.
Best one ever. All right. So we dove into it a little tiny bit, but Unity did go ahead and they're making changes to the policy. For all intents and purposes, I think we covered it the way we would cover it now because everything else is like a deeper read, and I don't want to do a deeper read. But the point is that they have made some adjustments to it. They make it clear that if you're developing a game in Unity right now, you're not affected by the new changes in the price because it's only for the new version of Unity that they're making. So basically all the upsetness can die down for that particular thing. But if you do want to use the latest stuff that they're making, then that's when you might be subject to that. But even then, they're still allowing you now to choose which version is better for you. And they ultimately said they're just going to charge you the less of the two versions, which is this pay for each download scenario
Yeah.
or pay for your 2.5% royalty fee or whatever it is. So I think that's fair. I think that's a great way of doing it. If you're gonna have to make these changes for your company, it's great to have the flexibility. But I think people overall, like developers, are gonna be, hesitant after their games that they're making
Yeah,
now
because
to
that was
re-up.
messy,
Yeah,
very
it was super
messy.
messy. It was super
Yeah.
messy, and you don't know if you can trust them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like
That's
that's
the
the
biggest
problem.
thing.
Trust is everything. You're gonna spend years of your life developing a game on this engine, and then all of a sudden, like they could just change it on you. Like
Yeah,
I feel like that was a
that was
bad
not
move.
cool.
That was a bad move, and it's gonna
Yeah.
take a long time. And what they're ultimately probably gonna end up doing is they're probably gonna end up having to pay some developers or lower the fees for some developers to keep them back. They're gonna have to do
Mhm.
something to make it worthwhile to the bigger ones. Obviously, the smaller ones, they don't give a shit about, but the bigger ones, they're gonna
They
have
should,
to
but yeah,
make
I
good.
get what you mean.
Absolutely. All right. Now, Embracer. Embracer is open to divesting studios and they confirm more closures are on the horizon. Now, this is the thing, man. Embracer, that like that shopping spree that they went on where they were buying everything, it felt so crazy. It's like, what are they doing? They're buying like all of these things. They have all of these IP. Dude, they have Time Splitters IP, which Time Splitters was so dope back in the day. They have so many different IPs and studios. And they placed a bad bet, man. They had one big thing they were working on, and they thought that if they got all of this content, then they would be able to go through with that deal. And the deal fell through, and they had no backup plan. This is crazy. Honestly, I need Microsoft to finish this merger simply because they need to go to Embracer and scoop some shit up. Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, we need it. We need that Tomb Raider IP. Give it to us, right? Give it to us. They have to go over there and then get some of those dope ass IPs that are in there. You got Time Splitters. They have Darksiders, which was a dope ass game, and if they can able to continue it, they can. I guess they own Gunfire Games, right? I'm pretty sure, or maybe they don't own Gunfire Games because that's THQ Nordic. I think that owns Darksiders. Um, but they have so much shit that they can go grab, and I feel like they need to go in there and just cherry pick everything they want. They have tons of studios that are good, that are not like super amazing, but you give them some budget, give them some
Yeah.
time, they can become that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they need to be done with this so they can go in there and scoop up some more. Now the bigger reason why is because as it is right now, Crystal Dynamics, we thought they were going to be immune to the situation, but they did have layoffs. Now it's not like super crazy, but still they were touched. You know what I'm saying? They put out a Twitter post saying Crystal Dynamics made the difficult decision to part ways with 9 brand marketing and 1 IT employee today due to an internal restructuring to align the studio with our current business needs. We are working directly with the affected staff to fully support them. If you have applicable positions open at your studio across brand directions, creative services, community, or IT, please pass them along to people or to some web to email, and we will ensure the information ends up in the right hands. I will say right now, I feel like Embracer doesn't let these people write their own shit. I feel like Embracer wrote this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so like
Corporate?
so sterile. Yeah, very
Mhm.
corporate, right? Like no emotion in it. Um and I feel like Crystal Dynamics would be more emotional about the fact that they had to let people go because of something out of their control. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So Embracer out here ruining shit. Remember that game Myth Force? It was in a night, and then I think it was in the summer Nintendo Direct, and it was like that first person cartoon looking game. They were like in a dungeon, and they had like a shield and all these other things. It was like a man, I don't know how to describe it, but Myth Force. It looked pretty dope. All right.
Okay.
Um, Big Boy Mike, welcome, my man. Oh, let
Welcome.
me put this up here. Big Boy Mike, good morning. I'm new to the
Good
channel,
morning.
enjoying what y'all do. Found you guys on Web Days
Oh,
podcast yesterday. Keep up the great
thank
work.
you.
Big boy, we
Welcome.
appreciate you, my man.
Welcome,
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
welcome. Thank you so much, man. Things like that make us feel good, you know. I
I
appreciate it.
know.
Um,
Thank you.
so yeah, this Myth Force Studio, they just had the game release, and like days after, they're already laid off a bunch of devs there. And it's like at this is again this consolidation talk. People don't want to hear it, but these these smaller studios are at risk. Any one game they make that they put their all into can be the end if it
Yeah.
doesn't hit, bro. It
And we're
could be
seeing
the
it happen
end.
more and more often. It's crazy.
Yes. Yes. Microsoft, even PlayStation. I mean, they're obviously PlayStation doesn't have the pockets like them, but even if PlayStation can buy your company because you're doing well, even though they technically bought a company and then already part ways with them or close them. Remember one of the games as a service studios that they were working
Yeah.
with? So I was about to say you're safer with Sony, but maybe not. Xbox is like a safe
Tony's
haven,
very
bro.
cutthroat. Phil will let you go and work on a project that you're passionate about if it makes sense to him, obviously. But like PlayStation, like they're really cutthroat over there. It's all business. And that's
Yeah,
just
dude.
it. If you
Even
go
with their
ahead
like
and what you're doing is not working, they'll freaking erase it real fast. They drop your ass real fast. That's not the safe spot to be.
agreed. Agreed. And it's sad and it's so scary, dude.
Mhm.
Like I couldn't imagine being a developer. You know how much stress you must have not knowing one if your job is going to be safe because you're working for the studio. And then like number two, you don't know when it can go. It can be after your game is released, it can be before the game is released. Like anything can happen at any given moment. This is like stressful stuff for these people. And
Yeah.
a place like Xbox buying these companies, being the Xbox that they are, okay, that they currently are. Remember, this Xbox is the company that says, come on board and go make your best game. You know what I'm saying? Go make your best game. Spartan, welcome, my man.
Welcome,
Thanks for stopping by.
baby.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Um, Xbox
Guys, if
will
you
let
can,
you be
hit that
you.
like button,
Oh,
please.
yes, please
That would be
do.
awesome.
The like button is our friend. And if you're watching and you're not chatting here and you just found us, hit the subscribe button.
Join
Come hang
us.
with us. It's a fun time. Um, but yeah, I feel like Xbox buying you is like the best case scenario for these companies right now because it just gives you that if you're good. If you're a shit company, then nobody's gonna want you, right? And that's a whole different discussion, right? But as
See,
far
there are also other ways to learn and to kind of work together. You don't have to just go ahead and buy everything. Obviously, they can't go and scoop everything up. But with Game Pass, this allows these smaller games that, to
that's
make that
true,
money, to get that check up front and go ahead
absolutely.
and continue with their company and their employees. Because again,
Yep.
it's really sad what's happening, and there we were talking about it, I believe it was last night, the Grand Theft Auto, right? there's room for more games like that. They don't all need to be that
Yes.
perfect, right? They don't need to be a
Agreed.
Grand Theft Auto, but they can have that idea. And like you said, it takes them like what, 50 years to release a Grand Theft Auto game.
There's
There's enough
for real, yeah.
time in between their games for you to go ahead and do something that we can all enjoy. Again, Game Pass,
Facts.
that's where it's at because people may not want to go pick up what they may consider or what a knockoff of a Grand Theft Auto, but you throw that in Game Pass and people will try it. People will click on it,
Yeah, and if you
and
spend a
that's
little
that's
money
an
on it and some energy, you can compete. You can
yes,
compete.
and that's an opportunity to be seen, and then your next game, then you can go ahead and hold your own with it. But this is
Yep.
advertisement. That's the way that it needs to be looked at for these smaller companies. Try to make that deal, get your Game Pass, and this is advertisement for your next games. If you made something good, it will show.
Yeah. Dude, GTA 5, Eric says, was a 360 release. It came out at
That's
the end of the 360
crazy.
life. That's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
It's been so
Um,
long.
G maybe says, shame to hear about Mythforce devs. They could so cash in on 80s, 90s cartoon nostalgia with that engine. Facts.
Yeah.
Xbox, scoop them. Let's get them done, bro. Big Boy says, Xbox is actually out here saving companies while
Yes,
Sony
baby.
is
Let's
taking
go.
their
Say
money
it.
and letting them die.
All caps.
Hashtag Team Green.
Yes.
Facts, fam. This
That's
is
exactly
facts, bro.
it, dude. Like,
That's
that's
100% what it
crazy.
is, bro. Sony
And you
is
can look
like,
at it. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, you
It's
go,
this
ladies first.
greed that they wanna look at it and, like, they wanna seem like they're just being greedy, picking everything up. They're literally saving companies that are barely hanging on? So, at the end of the day, like, you don't see Sony running around doing this shit. They need the money. They need the funds. They need that support, and that's exactly what's happening.
Facts. Yeah, no, I agree 150%. You know, Sony is, I mean, man, they really are hurting. You know what I'm saying? They just are. You can see by the desperation of these games as a service. They said it's not like, hey, I want to do 2 or 3 games as a service and we're gonna do them really well. They're like, we're gonna make
No.
10 to 15 and see what sticks. Like, what type of uh
What type of
feeling of
plan is that?
trust? Yeah, like how should I trust that idea? Like, how does that make me feel confident in what they're doing when they're basically saying, we're just gonna make a bunch of shit
We're
and
gonna
see what
wing it,
happens.
you guys. We're gonna see what takes and what doesn't. They are making these really weird moves, or they're like taking a step forward and then they're like, no, I don't want to do that. It's like they have no direction. They don't know what their next move should be. And they need clarity. And that's really scary for the idea that all they're telling us, obviously, what's coming out, Spider-Man, and we don't know anything else.
Yep,
Normally I'm like, Jimmy doesn't show his cards, but when you're seeing how they're dealing with this, it's really obvious that they're shook, that they're scared, that they don't know what to do right now.
agreed.
And that's why
Agreed.
the idea of maybe Apple stepping in and scooping them up will be their salvation.
I mean, we talked about that, and that's a possibility. I feel like Sony's at the point with how much money their games are going to cost to make
Yeah.
that at the end of the day, they kind of need that sugar daddy. They need a
Yeah.
big boy company. Sony, I'm sorry, PlayStation ponies, bro. You guys are tiny little baby ants in the world of finances when it comes to these companies, bro. They're tiny, bro. They're tiny. They cannot compete with Microsoft. They can't. They just can't. It's just the way.
Yeah. They
And they're
gotta
not
get it
Nintendo,
together.
who is focused on these, they have their
Nostalgic
base that is going
games.
to ride or die
Yes.
no matter what because of the brands that they have.
Yep.
PlayStation, you already see that 100 and what they had 120 million PlayStation 4s out there, and God of War sold what 20 million or 10 million. That means
That's what's crazy. What are
there's
they
like
using the
90,
PlayStation for? Like, if
dude.
they
There's
don't
like
start producing games and selling games, you ponies are gonna have to gallop your ass up out of here. You're not gonna be in it. There's gonna be nothing for you guys to talk about. You're gonna have to get an Xbox.
You're gonna have to get an Xbox,
You
fam.
kinda
That's
have
just the
to get
way.
an Xbox.
No, but it's wild because it's like they literally are in a scenario where they cannot they cannot survive one of their big games going bad. Because again, you have 120 to 130 million PlayStation 5s out there, or PlayStation 4s, I'm sorry. And again, their huge games only sell what, maybe between 5 or 4, like 5 million to like 15 million, maybe 20 for Spider-Man or something like that.
Yeah,
That means that there's literally between 80 and 90 million PlayStation owners who only bought a PlayStation because they believe PlayStation is the brand, not because they need PlayStation's games. Understand this, guys. This is the big fucking thing. This is why it's crazy. These are not diehard PlayStation people. They're just indifferent. They're just
yeah,
indifferent. They don't give a shit, and they figure PlayStation is the one that they have. And the way you know that is because they're not buying the fucking exclusives, fam. They're
yeah.
not buying the
That's very true.
exclusives.
You brought up an excellent point, and it makes me think of, like, how many times we've been talking to someone, and they'll be like, "I'm planning to get a system. What should I go with?" Like, they don't really know what to do,
Yeah.
right?
Most of them are following fucking Fortnite and Call of Duty. And guess what?
Yeah.
Guess where Call of Duty is going to be known going forward? Xbox. So slowly but surely, yes, it's not going to be a mass exodus. But again, obviously, Xbox downplayed the shit during the court trials and shit like that. But let's be real. 100 million, or let's even give them a little more slack.
Get 'em,
90
baby.
million PlayStation 4 owners don't give a fuck that they have PlayStation 4 exclusives. They don't, because they're not buying them. None of them are. Okay. You have the small segment. You got a good 20 to maybe stretch that to 30 million people who will buy your biggest exclusives. Out of the 120, 130 million you have, that's all you're getting. Let's just call it what it is, fam. These people don't care. They're casual. They're just buying the system that they think is the system that people are talking about. What's
Yeah.
going to happen when everyone's talking about Call of Duty on Game Pass? What's going to happen when grandma walks through the store and sees the box that says play Call of Duty free in your Game Pass subscription for 2 months when you buy a console? Like, you get a console, you get 2
Dude,
months of
that's
Game
gonna
Pass, or a
be
month.
crazy, and that's the
Crazy.
thing. Look, if you have kids, just for yourself alone, right? But if you have kids, right, and they are into
Yep.
gaming, you're paying the subscription, and then you're done. It's like,
Facts.
go explore, play whatever you want to play. This is your library, and you'll get your games. Anything that's not in there, you'll get it for Christmas. You'll get it for your birthday, and then you're done.
Yep.
It's the greatest investment there is when it
Ever.
comes to gaming.
Facts. 100%, baby. 100%. Eric says Xbox wants IP. If the studio were to be lazy, Microsoft would close them and still have the IP. Exactly. If they're shit in the bed, they'll
Yeah,
get rid of them, but they'll have the IP. Remember, that's why we have the Xbox game publishing arm. And they're working, they're already, it's confirmed. They said it themselves live on stage. They have between 12 and 13 games that they're making right now under the Xbox publishing arm, that are essentially first party games made by third party studios, right? And we know Contraband for sure is one of those games that we haven't seen in so long. We thought we would get an update this year. We didn't, which means next year that game is likely to be revealed and come out, unless something bad happened with the game, which would be a problem. Because I do feel, just to be clear, I do feel if Phil looked at that game and didn't think it hit the bar that they needed to hit, that they're gonna make them keep working on it until it hits the bar. Because I
yeah.
promise you, I don't think that they're gonna allow another Redfall situation at all,
No,
like in any way, shape, or form. So I will say that I don't think that that's gonna be. So there's so much
yeah,
coming, man. It's
there's no shot in
crazy.
hell for that.
Uh, G maybe says Jim decides he wants games as a service games for the income. Then he buys Bungie to have them decide on what will sell. There really is no plan other than to sell hardware. If Phone Stars is a games as a service, things are not looking good. G maybe, I
Facts.
agree, man. I agree.
Yeah,
All
100%.
right. So let's again, we're gonna wrap it up real soon. I know I said that last time and we're still talking.
Yes,
But I
see,
think
we're going on 3 hours,
um
baby.
I know, god damn it, no matter what. Switch 2. It was revealed that Activision was actually briefed on Nintendo Switch 2 late last year. And again, everybody says Switch 2 because it's going to be called Switch 2. Activision describes it as closer alignment to Gen 8 platforms like a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One in terms of performance. If that's the case, that's not great. All right. Because that's not good enough. We're already halfway through this gen. Like, you can't start 2 gens behind already. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on,
Get
man.
that. I get that.
Yeah, it just need to be. Um, and yeah, everything else was just kind of game, game updates and talking about some of the games that are. Oh, I found it. Phil Spencer, when he was talking about Kojima, he says, I'm planning to visit Kojima-san next week and meet him at the studio. I'm very much looking forward to meeting with him and checking on the progress of the project. I think the project is going well so far. However, Mr. Kojima is an innovative game creator and he is trying something new with this project. And I think it is necessary to let him work on realizing that vision away from the spotlight so he can somehow manage to show the game on stage in the future. So that's the quote I was trying to get to for when we were talking about the Tokyo Game Show.
Yes.
Phil Spencer, he's letting these guys cook, man. He's letting them do their best thing. You know what that does? It cleans Xbox's hands of bullshit. Meaning, it's like, bro, we gave you everything you needed. If you couldn't succeed, that's a you thing, not a us
Yes.
thing, right?
Not
And
us.
that is an issue. Absolutely. Um, there was an interview with Sarah Bond, was asked which IP was most requested to be revived, and she said a lot of fans have been looking for StarCraft, which is an Activision property that should be coming out. Which I've never played StarCraft, but I remember on the Xbox they were going to make StarCraft Ghost, which was going to be a third-person game in that universe, and it looks super dope, and it got canceled. So hopefully they'll bring that back. I forgot about this, but this, I guess, no, I didn't forget. It was leaked. Now it's official. Halo is coming to Rainbow Six Siege on September 26th with the Master
Ooh,
Chief Sledge Elite skin.
let's
I
freaking
I have
go.
to go and hop into that shit
I
for
bet you
sure.
do.
For sure.
Yes.
Um,
I expect
and
nothing less.
then all right, and then the very last thing we're going to talk about right this second is not going to be anything big, but the voice from Cal Kestis from the Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor games just revealed or leaked that the third Jedi game is being made and he's working on it. So EA's at it again with another Jedi game. Obviously, Jedi 2 was a hit. It reviewed very well. Super buggy. Even like I'm pretty tolerant of that type of stuff, and even to my level, like just the game assets sometime wouldn't load, or like the sound wouldn't load in, and it's like, like what is this, bro? Like I have a little time to play a game, I put you on, and I can't hear it. I have to spend time reloading it, hopefully trying to restart this. Like fuck that. But
Too much energy.
part 3, I'm down for it. You know what I'm saying? Let them
Let's
get their
go.
third shot, right? All right, guys. With that, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm just gonna read the last few here. Uh, Jacob says if Xbox wants to cash in on Japan, make Super Sentai game. I don't know what game that is, but I bet that would be dope. Jacob says Power Rangers is an entertainment and merchandising franchise built around a live action superhero television series based on the Japanese tokusatsu franchise Super Sentai. First of all, I was a huge Power Ranger fan as a kid. Loved Power Rangers. Red
I
Ranger. Only the
know.
first group though. Only the first group. Kimberly, Jason, Tommy. Tommy passed away. That's wild.
Oh, you know the names.
But yeah, I said I
Just
love
been
Power Rangers.
confirmed. Big fan. Got it.
Don't hate.
Got it.
Eric says, just look at Elden Ring on the Xbox One and Xbox Series X. Big difference. Fact. Jacob says, exclusive new. The developer of Wipeout inspired Ballistic NG says it's canceled a planned Switch port due to Unity's recent policy changes. We currently have no confidence that they won't try pulling another move. I see that. Yobi says, I honestly believe Foam Stars will actually be a success for Sony. It looks fun as well, and I will try it. The problem, this is my problem, Yobi, with that. I think that if Foam Stars was coming out on like the Switch or a different system, I think it would be a hit. I think unfortunately Sony's fans, like they're hardcore, they ain't about it. They're not gonna mess with it. They're not gonna mess with it. Nah. And I think it's gonna be another game that kind of comes and goes. This game is so reminiscent of Destruction All Stars or whatever. The car game they made that was like a destruction derby, but you can jump out of it and do all crazy shit. I just don't see it. It looks fine. It looks like it'd be a fun time. If it comes to Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, I might
That's the spot, baby.
Try it out. But outside of that, nah.
Plus.
Yeah, Yobi says, I'm still a fan of Power Rangers. Woo! And the fighting game. Jason, Tommy, Zach, Billy, Trinity, Kimberly.
Woo!
Fire. Hell yeah.
There you go.
I gotta still watch the movie. Yo, we gotta watch that movie. And we're gonna do him and a mic on it. Yes, we're gonna watch it and spend hours talking about it in the stream.
Your mic, I can't.
Oh, my mic cut out. Got it. No worries. I'll talk about it when we get home. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm back. All right, cool. Dragonheart says they aren't aiming for their hardcore, are aiming for today's gen, the new kids. No, I 100% agree. And maybe that will still equal numbers, but it's not gonna be in the echo chamber. Like you're not gonna hear about it, so it's gonna be perceived as a failure because nobody's gonna be talking about it. But maybe they will. I mean, again, I think it looks fine. I think it can be fun depending on how it plays, but then again, we could also just go play Splatoon. So,
yes.
Who knows? We will see. These are facts, Dragon.
These
are facts, guys. This was our short show, guys. It was supposed to be an hour and a half to 2 hours. We're approaching.
But it's always fun with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate
you guys drive the show. You guys have so much awesome stuff to say and talk about, and we want to talk about what you have to say. So we thank you guys so much. I know Six Layer says short, LOL. I know. It's wild. Guys,
but it's always fun, you guys.
It always is fun. Guys, thank you so very much for coming through and hanging with us. We really, really, really appreciate it. Especially to all the new people who've been stopping by, showing us love. We really, really appreciate that. So thank you guys so much. We're just gonna do our outro here and we'll be out. Just a reminder, YouTube hates us. They refuse to allow us to monetize. So if at any point in time you feel like you want to help support the channel, please do so by joining our Patreon. The link is linked right into the chat. It's pinned. And you'll be doing us a solid, just like these fine people on the scroll down below. You have our boy Jacob Novick, you have Mr. Joanna Dark, and you have the awesome Dragonheart Yobi. Guys, thank you so very much. We really appreciate that. And again, just a reminder, tomorrow's our big show. Her, him, and a guest.
Let's go, baby.
We have the very awesome Colt Eastwood, who will be joining us live for our show, 7 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, Tuesday. Get in there with us. Let our guests know how we rock for them, that we show up for them and have a great show with them. Oh, Kasea, welcome.
Yes, I was just waiting. Let's
Yeah,
go.
nice to see
Welcome.
you. Big Mike
Let's
says, "Y'all
go.
are a
Thank you for
tease."
being
Yes,
here.
we are. Yes, we are. Sorry, sorry. Yobi says, "I'm gonna see and look over your vids and see what kind of shit YouTube is tripping about." Yeah, go look. It's look through all the
Thank
shorts. That
you.
seems to be the
Thank
problem.
you.
That seems to be the problem. But yeah, so that show is gonna be dope. And then reminder, we have our show On Point Anime and Beyond on Friday.
We're going in
Normally 9
early,
p.m.
guys.
Eastern. Normally 9 p.m. Eastern, but this week we're going to be going early, 6 p.m. Eastern time, because Doodle and myself will be joining Mav from Fun Speculation on their
Let's
show
go.
on Friday night. We had him on as a guest on our Her, Him, and the Guest show last week. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's such a great show.
It
Great
is.
interview. We learned so much about him. Definitely go ahead and check that out. But we're going to be there at night, so we needed a little buffer. So we're doing 6 o'clock on Friday. And then again, finally, our big show for gaming is our gaming newscast. It's On Point, the gaming newscast, normally Saturday at 3 p.m. This week, not going to be Saturday. Sunday, 3 p.m. We'll be going live with our show. Saturday is our youngest set of twins' birthday. They'll be turning 4 years
Yes.
old. So we're going to be
Oh my
rocking
God.
with the
Time
fam
flies.
and enjoying that day. But guys, with that, we are done. I will say, if you didn't catch it yesterday, we were on Web Dave's show. Doodle made
That
her
was the
world
blast.
premiere outside of our channel on that show. She did
Such a good
amazing.
time.
She was
Thank you, babe.
wonderful. Honestly, I had
Thank you guys
so
for
much
those of you
fun.
that were there and for your support. It was so cool. It was so cool.
Yes, Doodle killed it. And I tell you right now, this was not the last time. We have more shows coming up. Doodle will be making appearances out in these streets of YouTube. So we have one that we're not 100% sure what's happening with it 100%, but we'll find that out. But for sure, Friday we'll be on Mav's show with Doodle. The following week, we're gonna be on Boom's Wednesday night show, the Prime show, and Doodle will be there. That's gonna be dope. The following week, we're gonna be on Xbox International Podcast. Doodle will be there. Doodle's gonna be everywhere. There'll be no escaping the Doodle. All right. So with that, guys, we're gonna end the show here, and we're gonna end it the way we end every.
Have the best day.
Yes.
Peace, love, positivity, good energy, guys. Live in that. Spread that out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Guys, we're gonna end the show the way we end every single show. Doodle.
Yes.
We're done. We did
are.
It. Until next time.
You're intruding.
You're intruding.